And we welcome you to another edition. This is OSN and the Ottawa Senators on the trade clock. And what a busy week. Lever Sage with you from the Palatial States in Ashton. Tanner Ryle here from beautiful Barhaven. How are you, Tanner?
Doing pretty good, Lee. Nice to be here whenever the things are going down, unlike on Sunday. And we've got quite the trade to talk about here.
We do. Zach McGibbon from beautiful Belleville. I say that with a bit of...
Why'd you say that with a laugh? I think it's pretty accurate.
How are you, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good. Coming straight from the job and coming here and getting ready to talk some Ottawa Senators once again. Feels a little bit like deja vu here, Lee.
It really does. I was up at working at the brewery and had to go back up. And Tanner's like, I'm home. I'm ready to go. I'm like, yeah, I'm like kegging out and sweeping floors here. So I'll be a little bit longer. However, we are here because the Senators very quickly after trading Brady Tkachuk to the Florida Panthers, they have turned around and traded the 9th overall selection in exchange for forwards William Eklund, Kasper Holttunen, and Brandon Spavoda from the San Jose Sharks. It's never a dull day in June here with the Ottawa Senators, and we are going to talk about it. Ethan also here from Borleans, I think it says. Yeah, if I'm reading that right.
Yep, that is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little blurry in the middle. I think it does say Borleans. You put a lot of spaces for some reason.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Zach, you and I were here, and Tanner, you were here for some of what was a kind of crazy Sunday night as Brady Tkachuk got traded. Now, what he got traded for is also out the door. Let's get our first reactions to William Eklund, obviously National Hockey Leaguer and a pretty good one. Kasper Holttunen and Brandon Spavoda right now, one playing in the American Hockey League, one playing at Boston University. So the prospect cupboard gets a little bit more full. Tanner, your first reaction to this deal where the Ottawa Senators trade the 9th overall pick and get William Eklund and prospects.
Yeah, you know what? I think I am pretty happy with the return. Obviously, moving the 9th overall pick, you're hoping for someone really big coming back. I'm sure they've kicked tires on a lot of the names that, the fans have been throwing around. Your Jason Robertsons, your Jordan Kyrous, those type of players maybe you were hoping for. But the fact is that those type of players have to want to come to Ottawa and play for your team. They're taking a shot here at a European kid who was drafted 7th overall a couple of years ago in William Eklund, very close friends with one Fabian Zetterlund on the team. And from what I've heard, also close with Tim Stutzle that I've heard through the grapevine.
You see me shaking my head already. I wondered how long it would take for Fabian Zetterlund's name to come up.
I figured you'd shake your head, but also just looking at the fit of the player, is he Brady Tkachuk? Absolutely not. Mm-hmm. But he's signed to a new deal with 3 years, carrying a cap hit of $5.6 million. He'll slot in nicely in the top 6 on that left wing. He's got the speed to keep up with Tim Stutzle. From what I've looked at, his goals above replacement was higher than Brady Tkachuk's last season.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like +2.3 and Tkachuk's was +1.8. So,
yep, I've seen he is more of a pass-first player, but I saw some reports saying he does have a bit of a booming shot, which is something that the Senators are probably looking for, especially on their power play that struggled a lot last season. So I think he ticks a lot of areas fit-wise for this team. Obviously, having a player who's 3 years old versus 18 potentially at the draft makes a lot more sense for this core. Being a year younger than Tim Stutzle, than Jake Sanderson, lines up quite nicely if he can turn out to be a good fit on this team. And I think he has all the tools to be. And then on top of that, you restock the prospect cupboards, which frankly, after Carter Yakimchuk, who is probably graduating from a prospect this year, it is also just very important for this organization, because after Logan Hensler, maybe Lucas Beckman and Blake Montgomery, things start to get pretty dicey.
To be quite honest with you, the Ottawa Senators, I don't know every prospect pool by heart in the NHL, but it's got to be bottom 5. Like, they are bare. And Zach, you know that in Belleville, we'll talk a little bit more and get your thoughts. But I always like to get people in. And Sherry, who was with us on Sunday night, she was not happy with Brady. I remember that. Kind of let the door hit you on the way out. Says, love this trade. Nice to have you back, Sherry. And it's about hockey. Saying Eklund and Zetterlund friendship runs deep, and Holtz is a monster. Well, we look forward to that. 6'3", 205, Kasper Holtunen played with the London Knights in the OHL, and last year played exclusively with the Barracuda in the American Hockey League. 16 goals, 35 points for San Jose in the American Hockey League. Zach McGibbon.
Yes.
You've looked at the prospects. You've looked at the deal. What are your thoughts on the Ottawa Senators trading the 9th overall pick for William Eklund and more?
Yeah, Tanner did a great job of analyzing William Eklund in terms of what I see prospect wise. So I have not seen Haltunen play in person when he was with the London Knights. I've only, seen through grapevine or tape or whatnot. But one of the big things with him is that he's a big dude and he's got a big shot. Like, he is somebody that they are very, very high on. And one of the things too that is kind of intriguing about this is you mentioned Blake Montgomery's name earlier. He was teammates with him on that London Knights squad too. So I imagine there's also that potential for a pairing up of those two, potentially in Belleville, if they are keeping Haltunen down in the AHL system. So there's a lot to be excited about. I think in his case, he is somebody that, for a guy his size, about 6'4", 205, and he skates pretty well for a guy his size too. Obviously younger, second round pick from the Sharks in 2023. So there is some excitement with him. In the case of Svoboda, as I was trying to read through, again, somebody that has played college. Some of the early scouting reports I've been reading is that he's more of a big body presence in front of the net. His high ceiling might be, a third or fourth line guy. He doesn't produce a lot. He didn't produce a lot points wise while he was down in college. So
to be fair,
yep.
Let's remember Brady Tkachuk, 8 goals at Boston University.
Yep.
8. And there was a massive, when he got drafted, people are like, the guy only had 8 goals. What are you doing? Why are you drafting a guy that only had 8 goals?
Mm-hmm. Where's Philip Zadina?
Right. So the point, look, college hockey is very, very different. And this is why the scouts get paid the big bucks, is because they have to understand how a guy is going to translate to the National Hockey League. Can he do it effectively from college hockey that really doesn't put up big numbers? Like, almost nobody puts up big numbers. If you have a point a game in college, you are a massive star.
Yep.
So just to keep that into consideration when you're comparing college, and you all of a sudden go back to like the Ontario Hockey League, that if a guy doesn't have 100 points, you're like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So
I think in his case more, it's a matter of his play style. Like, it's funny you were mentioning there is a little bit of that power forward dynamic with him, but I don't think there is that same level of upside that you had with a Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't mean to compare him to Brady, Zach. Right. I was just, sometimes when people say this is how many goals and this is how many points they had.
Yep.
In college, it's a very dangerous thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's he was a third rounder for the Sharks as well. So they got, in terms of higher end picks, they brought in a haul, and we mentioned earlier in terms of trying to fill up the cupboard here. This is an opportunity now. I think they kind of accomplished 2 things: bringing in Eklund and seeing, it seems like that's kind of the Staios thing right now. Younger player, good contract, high upside. And bring him in, and now in this case also bring some prospects to try and refill that pool.
Tanner's playing with the settings. I
was trying to fix it. I was trying to get our name tags back, but
while I'm talking,
I think this is the best one. Sorry.
Tanner, listen, this is your playground, my man. Okay, like do what you will. I was actually looking to try and get us back all equal on the screen. I don't know how to do that either. So
I can do that as well. I was getting bored of hearing Zach talk, so I started playing with
Oh,
buttons.
that's see, I knew that's what it was about. Unbelievable.
We're welcoming
I was looking
people.
as like apparently
no,
doesn't
I
want to
know.
hear my Brandon Svoboda take. I guess that's fine.
It's about hockey. It's sad to see Holtz go. Absolute bomb of a shot. Also said not this Sharks fan. Julian is in and says Spavoda is unlikely to be a top 6 guy, but a big body and a prospect at the end of the day. And look, I think what was really interesting about Steve Staios was listening to him say that this has been in the works for weeks. Like, this was not when they traded Brady Tkachuk, it didn't come up that day. He had known for a long time. And with that, I'm sure have done a bundle of work in the last month because they knew that this was going to happen. So this is a huge move for the Ottawa Senators when you look at they have now had a few weeks at least to dig into where they were going to go if they got what they got. And how does their scouting department stand up when guys like Haltunen and Brandon Spavoda come back? They can ill afford this to just be William Eklund and nothing. Because if this ends up being William Eklund and nothing, William Eklund's going to be compared to Brady Tkachuk all the time. Now, we'll see if a bigger fish is coming to Ottawa as well with some of the cap space. Tanner, William Eklund's contract, what does that look like?
Yeah, so I was looking at this earlier. William Eklund signed a new deal in San Jose that actually has not kicked in yet, from what I understand.
Yeah.
A 3-year contract with a cap hit of $5.6 million. So if that can turn out to be a top 6 player for this team in the next 3 years, that's a steal of a contract with where the cap is heading. You know, Drake Batherson is making pretty close to that, a little bit less, and he's up for a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
So slotting in a player like Eklund at that cap hit could be a real nice add if he turns out to be worth more than that contract is. And then obviously will be an RFA at the time of expiry in 2029 when he'll be 26 years old.
Ryan in Bytown also with us on Sunday. Glad you're back. Ryan, Eklund is a high upside pick. No, yes, he was the 7th overall pick. Bit of a reclamation project. And talked about them getting Stenberg. But see, Julian is in now with time for the Ruck twins to come to Ottawa. Ben was over here the other night. Our friend, the super fan. I'm not giving him that kind of entrance on this show, Zach. But he came over afterwards because he wanted to talk. Like, I got to talk to someone about this deal. He had just got home from a serious situation. So he needed to just talk some sports for a bit. He wanted these guys bad, the Ruck twins. He want anything he could do to, like, well, they pick at 25 and 32. And if they end up picking the first brother at 25, then no one's going to take the other guy, right? You can't take the other twin. Can't take the other Sedin. We'll see.
I know you mentioned Stenberg there, but I think it's pretty safe to say the San Jose Sharks made this deal so they could get Ivar Stenberg at 2nd overall and then take their defenseman at number 9. So I think it makes a lot of sense for them. They're dealing from a position of surplus. I saw the term reclamation project used there. I don't think I'd throw Eklund in that category just from an outsider perspective. I think this is still just a prospect kind of coming into his own at the NHL level. Keep in mind, these San Jose Sharks teams were not great the last couple of seasons. And also from what I've seen, Eklund didn't primarily play on the line with your Macklin Celebrinis and your Will Smiths of the world.
I think what worries me and some other Senator fans for sure, not knowing, watching the Sharks a little bit. And I watch the Sharks more this year because of Celebrini than I have in other years. I mean, the guy is legit top 5 I would pay to see in the National Hockey League guy. But it's really hard to look at the numbers from William Eklund. And I know he's a different player. But Zetterlund had 17 goals and 19 assists for 36 points. And Eklund had 15 goals, 38 assists for 53 points. Is it all that much different? And Zetterlund has not worked out here. And I don't care that they're great friends. And I hope Zetterlund gets going, and maybe because his friend's here. But Zetterlund had every chance on this hockey team with every line and every player on this hockey team. And we can all agree he was very underwhelming this year, correct?
Yes.
Different player in William Eklund for sure. But the numbers look similar when you go and trade from a guy from the Sharks. He doesn't work out. And then you go get another guy from the Sharks who's got relatively the same numbers. Again, different players, probably an unfair comparison. I get it. But from an outside perspective, some Sens fans are going to look in on this and go, we got another guy from San Jose with the same numbers. Well, the first guy wasn't very good.
Or at least not to the level that they were hoping for when it came to Zetterlund. So
no, I would say he sucked this year.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say not to the level that people were hoping for. He had every chance, played with every top guy, could not do anything.
He got a lot of looks on the top line with Tim Stutzle and Brady Tkachuk.
Exactly. Yep. So it's about hockey. Said he's small. That's his issue. And the East is smaller now. Julian is in. Size not a concern. You look at guys, Caulfield, Stankoven, they've done well for themselves. Not saying he's Caulfield, but he could be Stankoven-ish, possible. You know what? I like the word Stankoven-ish. Yes. I would like to be Stankoven-ish myself. Because every time I turned around this year in the playoffs, Stankoven or ish was scoring for Carolina. They'll win the cup without that line. Ryan in Bytown says Zetterlund was always a top 9 player to me. You know why, Ryan? Because they stuck him there all the time and he stunk. What about him was a top 9 player in the National Hockey League or top 9 player on the Sens? Ryan, we're glad to have you, but you got to be better than that. If he's a top 9 guy for you, your team's not going to be very good. Ethan's all worried about potential. Says, this is what I'm saying. It's time to stop banking on potential. Start making a splash for proven guys. That's a legitimate concern of mine. Eklund, Stu Batherson is not a top line that scares teams. So the next question is, Tanner, are they done bringing in a big fish to play in their top 6, top 9 before they begin the season?
I don't think they're done. Not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another move between now and the end of the draft on Friday or Saturday. I think I mentioned it earlier, but I'm sure they would love to have gotten Jason Robertson in here to replace Brady Tkachuk, or a Jordan Kyrou, who was moved today to the Washington Capitals. But like I mentioned earlier, the fact is those guys have to want to play for Ottawa for it to make sense. So if the best deal you can get here is not a bad one in acquiring William Eklund, who was a 7th overall pick, I think you're better off taking Eklund and those other prospects than drafting at 9 and taking another shot at an 18-year-old kid who might turn out to be William Eklund in 3 to 5 years from now.
Right.
Yep. So I like it from that perspective. And you still have a number of assets from that Brady Tkachuk deal and some other players that you could look to move. I think we're not looking at like a Jason Robertson or a Jordan Kyrou. I'm starting to turn my attention to your Mason McTavishes of the world, who's been pretty connected to the Senators. He's from the area. His dad's on the scouting staff. And another guy I throw out there, maybe an Alexis Lafreniere, I think could make a bit of sense when you're looking at the New York Rangers and them trending towards a rebuild.
I think Lafreniere coming here. Like, I think you look at that New York Rangers team right now and go, nobody is kind of what you're seeing. When you look at the Rangers, you're like, yeah, Lafreniere, he's not living up to his potential or where he could be. I don't think many people on that team are.
Yeah, and I think you could say similar about McTavish not living up to his potential there and not really having the spot to succeed there anymore.
Yeah. Or should he have played his way into the lineup already?
That's another point. Yeah.
Like, look, the Mason McTavish one, there's a lot of, he's from the area and his dad's on the staff and this and that. Like, why can't he make that lineup? What is it about Mason McTavish that he isn't making that lineup? I'd love
I also think it makes sense just that McTavish is a center, and this team's already pretty loaded up at the center position, that Lafreniere probably makes more sense.
I just think Lafreniere has been like, nobody on that Rangers team is kind of allowed to hit their ceiling. That would be my concern. Sherry says 2 more moves coming. Sherry, which moves are those? If you know there's 2, which ones? Ethan says they cannot be done. They still have a glaring hole on left wing in the top 6. Problem is getting a legitimate, proven top 6. This is like his goalie coach takes now. Like, legitimate, proven guy. He doesn't want potential anymore.
Big results guy, Ethan is.
No, hey, look, from Sens fans, you want a proven guy to come here and say he wants to be here. You do.
Yep.
And they're not getting that right now. They haven't had that in a while.
And also, just bringing up another point here. We're talking about all these big fish and maybe going for these smaller names like an Eklund. Take a look at the Carolina Hurricanes. How many players on their roster would you consider superstars in this league on that top end level? Like, if you put Jason Robertson on the Carolina Hurricanes, he's probably their best player. So it's a way to build a team by spending a little bit more evenly throughout your lineup, by getting a guy in here like Eklund and still having room and $20 million in cap space to add another top 6 player.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that I think are really interesting in that discussion, Tanner. Number one is you can build a team that way, but the Carolina Hurricanes have an identity. They have a culture. They have, when you play Carolina, you know they're going to come at you a million miles an hour, that you know they're going to funnel all the pucks to the net, right? Like, they have an identity that they've played for a long time. And you can build a team when people come in, like Taylor Hall, and like, they have to play a certain way or they're not going to be there. Are the Senators that team?
I'm going to push back on that a little bit, because we sat here a lot of post games last season and talked about how good analytically the Senators were playing, and it was just their goaltending that was killing them. So if they had that league average goaltending and they were playing that style of hockey, maybe we're sitting here saying that they do have a bit more of an identity. And yeah, they didn't show it in the playoffs against the Stanley Cup champions, but I think the foundation is there with Travis Green.
Sharks Oregon says Eklund's insane hard on the boards. You guys are going to love him. I am sad to see him go. Well, that's going to make people here happy.
Yeah. I mean, congrats on Ivar Stenberg, but I think you'll do just fine in missing William Eklund.
And whatever defenseman you get at 9. So,
but yeah, that's certainly reassuring for Sens fans.
So I agree with you, Tanner. And the reason I asked that question is because Carolina's been doing it for years and years and years. But did something happen this year where for the Ottawa Senators, you're like, hey, it's not just willy-nilly hockey. It's not just hopeful their superstars show up and they win a game. They were winning games in the last 3-4 months of this season, as we talked about on Sunday, with guys that even you listen to podcasts, you watch NHL every day. You don't know who Cameron Crotty is. You know Jorian Donovan's the son of Sean Donovan, and that's it.
Yeah, Jordan Spence playing 30 minutes a night.
Lassie Thompson, you don't know who he is. Zach's doing the, I know.
Well, some people don't. Some people don't.
Zach, they played in Belleville and they stunk. At the American Hockey League level, they weren't very good. They came up here and they won games with James Reimer in goal.
Yeah.
Like, come on. We went into game. Look, the Rangers sucked this year, right? But
oh yes,
we went into like covering games for the Senators when they were going into New York to play the Rangers, and James Reimer was the goalie, and Cameron Crotty and all the guys I just listed are playing defense. No Jake Sanderson, no like all of their top guys, no Thomas Chabot, no anybody. There wasn't even a thought that the Sens were going to lose. And what did they do? They shut the Rangers out.
Yep.
There wasn't a thought. The thought was this team has an identity and they know how to play, and guys are fitting in, and they're not even very good, and they're still playing the right way for Travis Green. So to your point, Tanner, I don't know if half of a season makes an identity, but they're on their way to doing that.
It's better than no half of a season.
I'm going to take that quote, Zach, and better than no half of a season.
I got a bit of a more lighthearted question to ask about Eklund. So his jersey number right now is 72. Obviously, that's taken by a prominent member of the core in Thomas Chabot. Maybe this is more for the comments. How would you feel if William Eklund came in and wore number 7?
Yeah, I knew you were going to.
Oh boy. I got lighthearted.
So the problem with that is that there's a lot of Tkachuk jerseys in Ottawa right now. A ton. Other than like the 2 or 3 I saw burned on Facebook.
Right. Wow, a jersey burning.
But
I mean, teams have done like name replacement deals and stuff.
Yeah, exchanges. Now, it's hard because he's been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Jersey replacement and exchanges are usually done when a guy comes in for a year and he's gone. They're usually not when guys have spent 7 or 8 years as an Ottawa Senator or with their team. So we'll see. But the problem for Eklund there is then you want to attach yourself to always being compared to Brady Tkachuk. Where's number? Right? Like, but someone like 7's not going to go down and like retired by the Ottawa Senators.
No.
So somebody is going to wear 7 at some point. I just don't know if it should be the guy that's coming in that really is the first name here that people are going to associate with the Brady Tkachuk trade. Now, you want to have this same discussion if they bring in a bigger name in the next couple of weeks? And that guy, like, I don't know who that would be, but let's just say it's Lafreniere. I could hear Eklund wearing 7 if Lafreniere came in and he was kind of the bigger fish rather than William Eklund. I could see that. What do you guys think about that? I just don't see Eklund wearing 7 if he's the biggest name they have going into the season. That's all.
I think you would just go with original numbers at this point. Like, it would be very if you want to do it for the funny haha.
Hold on, Tanner. Safety Sam says don't ruffle any feathers. Just pick another safe number that no one really cares about.
Well, hold on. For the funny ha-has, of course I would absolutely be all for the 7, but let's just go with the original numbers here. Lafreniere, maybe you could sell me a little bit. Certainly not Eklund.
Hey, closer edit for the jerseys there. I just put 7 on Yakimchuk. A couple people putting in the comments here that 7 would be an RHD. They could just throw it on him.
Put it on Yak.
I did see a Photoshop today of that sign down on Carling that says "Let's Kachucking Go," where someone had photoshopped it to be "Let's Yakimchucking Go." So
very nice preparing.
Maybe they're on something there. And yeah, a lot of people saying 27 is his Sweden number, so it'll probably be that.
Yeah,
well, they're gonna switch 72 to 27.
How did we get to Carter Yakimchuk suddenly being the star player for the team that's going to take over his number and like let's Yakimchuk and go, like stop.
But it ends with Chuck, Lee, like Chuck and Yakimchuk.
No. I understand, Zach.
I don't know. You asked the question, so I figured I would try to answer, you know?
Sounds like 27 works for him.
Yep.
And could just flip numbers and take 27.
Yep.
Which Safety Sam will be very happy about. No controversy in Ottawa for the numbers. I'm all
right with it.
I would hope now, though, that the Senators are not done. And I don't think listening to Steve Staios yesterday that they are. He seemed like a guy that was like, yeah, there's more. And he obviously had this one close. but there's more here, and we're not going backwards. And you even heard someone in the press conference say, "Stay tuned." And
His phone started ringing during one of the questions.
Yeah.
I did like that when they're basically asking, like, who else are they looking at, or like who else. He said that the interest in the pick had been robust, and then the phone rang.
Do you want me to be conspiratorial? Do you think that was a planted phone call?
He accidentally left his phone face up, and just the camera catches Ian Mendez name on the front of it.
Yeah. But also like the phone just happened to be ringing during that question and send the message that we're on the move.
So I know you're being a little bit facetious here.
Yeah.
But I will entertain you with the fact that most times you walk into a press conference, you are going to turn your phone off. When you're having a major press conference in front of the press about trading your captain, you are going to turn it off. And I can tell you that guys like Ian Mendez and guys in that organization might have actually reminded him, hey, like, phone off, everything good, right? Yep. And then his phone rings. Zach, it's a 1%. Like, I'm not saying
it's not zero.
It's not Sam Mitchell.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, was talking about Bunyarny. I saw Sid Cixero bring that up.
Yep. Andrea Bargnani.
0-0-0. I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, and the look too, where he's looking like, come on. Like,
I told him, quit. I love that.
If you don't want to play, quit.
So is left wing the biggest need? Is right D the biggest need in your mind right now, Zach?
I think it would probably be the wing. I think they've got enough on the right side to carry them over into the season. So I think it would have to be trying to find out of the piece. And we were touching on earlier about, is this it for the Sens or whatnot? It's clearly not. I don't even have to watch that press conference from Steos to look at this trade and go, okay, yeah, there's more coming here that's being planned, right, from still some of the cap that's available from that contract that was moved from Tkachuk to the players that have come in and just the needs in of itself. I think they would go winger personally, but I think it'll be fine enough on the right shot for another year. Because I do think that you look at the players that are coming up. I think they think highly of them. You know what I mean? So but I do think winger is something, especially in that top six. I think that's something they should look at.
Tanner?
Yeah, I would agree. I think they still need to add at wing, whereas you've still got Spence on that back end there that I think fills in a top 4 spot. It's just, replacing Brady Tkachuk with just William Eklund, I don't think is good enough. And I don't see Ridley Gregg really there quite yet. And then you're looking at maybe like a Warren Fogle or a Fabian Zetterlund. Yeah, I'm not feeling too confident. Might still need to see a forward go too, because that bottom 6 does seem like a little bit bloated.
Let me answer the question for you properly, guys. The answer is a right shot D. And it's then going to be another defenseman and then maybe another defenseman before you guys start worrying about scoring goals, because Ottawa was winning games 2-1 and 3-2 and 1-0, and they were just fine. I know they need another winger. Okay. Don't get your knickers in a knot, Ethan, coming up about a proven veteran guy, but they need a defenseman in the worst way. They have said that they need one. And whether they keep Jordan Spence or not, he's not going to be he played really well, but he's not the answer to their problems. And if you want an identity and you want to play the right way, you can't go out there with that defense score like they had. I can tell you that I really, truly believe that a defenseman and a goalie are coming here maybe before this big named forward. but we'll see. Maybe it's all three. I'm just telling you about whether they get this big name forward or not. And I probably think they need another name for people to go, oh, okay. Well, Chuck's not here, but we have Lafreniere and we have Eklund and, a couple other guys, but their needs are in defense and goal. If you put a gun to my head, I'd say Stuart Skinner is going to be an Ottawa Senator.
Agreed.
And I think they've been looking for that defenseman for a long time. And they said at the end of the year it was one of their biggest needs, and I believe them. I just don't think they're deep enough with everybody healthy. Owen says, I don't want Skinner. Do you want James Reimer, Owen? Do you want Mad Sogard? Do you want Levy? Merlainen? Who do you want? Stuart Skinner's a good goalie. And he's gotten the shaft in a couple of places, but they were in on him at the deadline. He played pretty well for Pittsburgh at points.
2 back-to-back cup finals. He knows the Canadian market. I don't dislike it at all, especially if he's going to be a 1B type of guy.
Yeah, doesn't have to be the guy every night.
Especially because just even taking out of account what happened with Linus Ullmark this year and the personal battles he dealt with, he is a goaltender that gets hurt frequently and doesn't tend to play a lot of games compared to other starters. So they kind of need a guy who can play a bit.
Ethan says Levy, Merlainen not off the table if you ask me. Well, if you ask me, he is.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying, but if you roll back with Linus Ullmark and Levy Merlainen, I just don't see that happening.
I pretty confident that Levy's going to be staying in the AHL. I'll be watching a lot of Levy Merlainen starts in Belleville coming up this season. Pretty confident in that.
Owen says, I do actually want Reimer. He was good.
He'd be a good goaltending coach.
Well, when you have 8 shots on net, I would hope you would look decent.
And this is like, Owen, we love that you're here. Okay.
Yes.
Love that you're a part of the program. James Reimer looked good because the Senators literally we can't give up any shots. Like none. As you said, we need to give up 8 in the game or else we might not win. And what do you think the players, and more importantly than you, Owen, or me, or Tanner, or Zach, what do you think the players thought every time James Reimer went in goal to play in a game that the Senators needed to win down the stretch? When he was on the couch 2 months before that, what do you think they were thinking? You can't have the players go out and think like that. They have to go out and believe that the guy can get it done. And I actually, like you guys, I think Stuart Skinner, the Canadian market, tons of pressure. If you think the Edmonton Oilers were anywhere near the defensive team that Ottawa was in the second half of this year, you are sadly mistaken. Look, I think Skinner needed to be better in certain points, but he's learning. And completely different system. Giving up tons of chances just to get a 2-on-1 back the other way, a 3-on-2 back the other way. Let's trade a chance for chance. Ottawa doesn't do that. And that's a really good thing. I did see earlier that somebody brought up that Drew Brown got traded. Yes. CFL football, folks. I know. If you're listening in from San Jose, you're like, what? Ooh, yes. What?
CFL?
Yeah, but see, and this is where I get people.
Oh, give me a break with this Reimer's numbers and Skinner's. If you look at this side by side, I saw James Reimer in the AHL, folks. In the AHL, Belleville Sens, 1 game. He led 5 goals. He was sprawling out of his net, couldn't make a stop.
He was all over the place in the NHL too.
Stop it.
I will look
at he's so good. If he's so good, do you want him back? Do you like all the goalies is so good? Do you want him back? I want to read the chat. Do you want him back another year? Backup goaltender. Here we go. We got another James Reimer season. Tell me. Tell me.
By the way, he had an .886 save percentage this year. What do you mean his numbers? Like, Honestly,
point to a better goalie on the UFA market right now. I mean, Sergei Bobrovsky, he's not coming to Ottawa and he's not playing backup to Linus Ullmark.
well,
But
what
kind of year did Sergei Bobrovsky have this year?
is he going to play backup to Connor Hellebuck?
He's not re-signing in Florida. I think he's gone.
Yeah,
he wants term. That's what's going around. He saw the contract that they gave Brad Marchand, and he said, "Where's my piece?" So I wouldn't. You know what? I think we might see Sergei Bobrovsky within this province, but not on the Senators.
Are you saying he's going to be a Toronto Maple Leaf?
That's confusing for a lot of people, Tanner, listening outside of here that don't really know.
I don't know. I think Sergei Bobrovsky might be a Toronto Maple Leaf.
Reimer is old. He was semi-retired. Stop your stupid rant. He saved their season. You think those players wanted the kids they tried in October?
James Reimer didn't save the season. Stop it.
Thank you.
Stop it. What are we doing here?
Oh, see, we're going down
He's
a road.
career 908 goal. Yeah, he was 860, 870 this year.
Yeah,
of course he was good when he was 28. Of course he was. What are we doing here?
Owen wants to thank Kulov 89. Thank you. You get it.
He didn't answer my question, by the way, if he wanted him back for another year.
I think he did say yes.
He implied it, but he didn't straight up say it. He's like, oh, well, if you look at the past or whatever. But look, I'm not saying that it's a plentiful goalie market or whatever, but you really there are better options than James Reimer.
I like Skinner on a 1-year backup. I've seen Cooley from Calgary floated as well. So the problem, John Michael, there is that Skinner's not going to sign a 1-year backup deal.
The other problem there is Cooley is signed in Calgary.
But Skinner's going to get 4 or 5 years. I know people aren't going to like it, but he has value on the market. And this isn't an opinion. This is fact. He will get minimum 3 years. He'll probably get 4 or 5. And people will go, oh my God, that's stiff in goal. Played pretty well in Pittsburgh, and he's never played for a team that has even thought about defense. Are you laughing at his name? Meat Beam.
That too, but I mean, you know this goalie well. That's your team.
Yeah, I actually don't. I'm not down on him like others are. People like Tanner look in and want to make fun of the Devils, and then Markstrom doesn't play very well, and he gets hurt, and then he's out of the lineup. He comes back in, he doesn't play very well, and Tanner wants to crap all over him because he saw him in 4 games. Okay. He's a good goalie.
You and I did go to a Devils Senators game, and I think we both remember who won that game, so I can't really talk much.
It wasn't the Senators.
It was not.
See, there we go. Wasted youth caper. These handles are amazing. Brady Eklund is amazing. No, your handle's amazing.
That is pretty good.
Yeah.
Congrats. I think it's been interesting since we got off the air on Sunday how much me and you guys and everyone has kind of dug into the fact that this is one thing I want to point out to everybody that people should pay attention to way more than what is being said. Like Brady held his press conference and I'm like, I don't really care what he had to say. It's not that I don't care. I just don't believe him. So when he talks, I don't believe him. But what you should pay attention to, if you're a hockey fan of whether it's, the Senators, this deal, Brady Tkachuk, or your team, pay attention to what not is said. How many Ottawa Senators have gone out on social media at all and said, really sorry to see Brady Tkachuk go?
I've seen one acknowledgement on the whole team. Jake Sanderson reposted the graphic onto his Instagram story and put "my goat."
Right.
Not a single other acknowledgement from anyone on the team.
Right. Remember Jake Sanderson and Brady Tkachuk don't join them together because they're American, but join them together because they won a gold medal together. Right? So I understand that. Not a lot of guys have come out and said, man, we are really going to miss our captain, our leader. It's not going to be the same without him. Good luck in Florida. We'll see you down the road. None. What does that say?
The silence can say a lot, Lee.
Deafening.
Yeah, very deafening. Might as well have thrown a tumbleweed out there too while I was at it.
So it is important for people to pay attention to those things, because in this player's first world that we live in, I can tell you that if Brady Tkachuk was beloved in the Ottawa Senators room, they could care less what other people are going to think. They're going to make sure that they take care of their friend and wish their friend well, to make sure that, like, they're not safety Sam like Zach. They're going to go out and just care about themselves and care about their friends. They're not going to necessarily just do the right thing. None of these guys went out and said, we're going to miss you, Captain. Thanks for the leadership. Thanks for being here, Captain.
Only the one, my goat. That was it.
Yeah, but he won a gold medal with them, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. I don't know that against Anderson at all.
Nope.
and it took him, like Ethan is saying, it took him over 24 hours to post anything. On the contrary, David Perron received an outpouring of goodbyes an hour before a puck drop in Calgary.
I would even counter that, like David Perron, sure. Do we all remember the sentiment when Josh Norris was traded? How much it affected this room?
Yeah.
I mean, Brady's probably the big one that everyone comes to mind because he was, literally crying in his presser, but it went a lot deeper than that. There was a lot of social media posts about Josh Norris, and he was very close with a lot of guys on this team.
It's a really good point, because Josh Norris was a good player, but not like Brady Tkachuk or Jake Sanderson or Tim Stutzle. But he's a good player. And they traded him for a good player in Dylan Cousins. But when a guy left and they traded him, a ton of outpouring for Josh Norris, none for Brady Tkachuk. We speculated on the show, and that I've been saying for a couple months that there was some trouble in that locker room, and I think that this is going to be a breath of fresh air. And I know that people from the outside are looking at like, you just lost your captain, one of the best players. You got nothing back. Now you got William Eklund and a bunch of prospects. Stop telling us because Brady Tkachuk's the best player in the deal. Yes, he's still the best player in the deal, even though William Eklund's now coming here. But sometimes if you remove somebody from a team and there's so much more oxygen in the room and other people can't step up into leadership roles, everyone just takes a deep breath and goes, okay, thank you. We're good now. And maybe this is it for Ottawa. Maybe this is the rest of those guys are going to bond together. They know how well they played. Brady really didn't play all that well down the stretch. He was a no-show in the playoffs. And when we talk about the new identity, Tanner, you brought it up. Yes, maybe they do have an identity, the way they played in the last 3 or 4 months. I can tell you who wasn't a big part of that on the ice with his play, and that was Brady Tkachuk. You just had to watch him. He was nowhere near committed defensively, nowhere near committed to doing the things that the other guys were doing on the ice. Our good friend Ethan brings up all the things that don't matter, so he's doing it again. Raises the question: Shabby, Sandy, Timmy, Giroux, who gets the C? I don't care.
What? You don't want an extensive breakdown of who could be the alternate captain, who's wearing the A, and who could wear the C?
What I do care about is what the other players think in the locker room, and I just know that I've seen some captains that were very popular here. I've seen some captains that were not very popular here. And when you have a guy that's the best player on the team and he's the captain, even if he's the captain, if he's not the actual dressing room leader, they don't care in the dressing room. They don't care. You follow who is actually leading by example. Claude Giroux's a quiet leader, right? But he's not necessarily a rah-rah guy in the dressing room. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back.
Yep.
Would you guys take him back?
Yes.
I would. It also, I guess, depends on what it's going to be worth, because it was a battle. Shouldn't say a battle, but it was definitely a negotiation for that 1 year.
Yep.
So I wonder what they're kind of looking at there.
I don't know how. The problem is I don't know how you go to Giroux and go, we just don't have any room.
Yeah.
Like, we'd love to give you a little bit more, but we just don't have it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was literally working out at the Canadian Tire Center, and Staios mentioned this in the presser that the two of them saw each other because he was at the building getting his workout in before the presser. I think it's a waste of a conversation. I think he's going to be back, and it's probably going to be a similar deal to last year. Big part of this team. I think it's a shame if Claude Giroux doesn't retire an Ottawa Senator. Do I think he should get the captaincy? I don't know about that. If he's only going to be here for another year or two, and he would probably tell you the same thing. But I think it'd be a shame if he is not on this team next year. And I think he wants to be here.
Cool Off 89 says Chabot playing with a broken arm. He is your captain. See, and this is where I think people get confused. Thomas Chabot, I don't think needs to be the captain to be a guy that other people follow on the ice.
Yep.
And he's definitely part of the leadership. This is the whole thing is like we're discussing between Jake Sanderson and Tim Stutzle and Thomas Chabot with maybe Claude Giroux. But it's like all of those guys are going to be part of your leadership.
Yeah.
Those are the leaders of the team. And who has the C and who has the A, and like we're going to break it down for an hour, and then they're going to be like, yeah, we're going to split the captaincy. One guy's going to get it on the road and one guy's going to get it at home, and like who cares?
I think, gun in my head, I'd go to Jake Sanderson if I were to be the one naming the captain.
So would you give it to another American guy just for the public looking in on him?
That's definitely the toughest part. But to me, I think Brady Tkachuk was more of a one of one in this case, at least from the outside. And I'm sure the team should decide this. But when I look at the player, I think Sanderson's on the ice more than anyone. To me, he's the best player on the team. Yep. And you can tell me about Tim Stutzle, but Sanderson, to me, is a much more stoic guy. He's got the qualities for it. I think he'd be a phenomenal captain in the NHL.
Jake Sanderson's best player on the team, and Tim Stutzle is very close, but he's the best player on the team. And he does look like he's got the wherewithal to accept the captaincy and be a really good one in the National Hockey League. But it is about, like, if they go to Jake and say, hey, you're going to get a lot of questions because you're an American captain, and the last American captain left them high and dry and asked his way out of town. If we put the captaincy on you, like, we can't have that again.
And I wonder if this is a case where, you hear about it sometimes. Sometimes the coach picks the captain. Sometimes the GM does. Maybe this is the case where it's the players that decide who's going to be their leader.
I agree. Like, this doesn't seem like some other teams where you just have to name the best player the captain because he's going to get his knickers in a knot if you don't. It really doesn't seem that way now in Ottawa. But again, the leadership core is Sanderson and Stutzle and Chabot and Giroux if he's back on the team.
Yeah. And
whatever order that is.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we're only really talking about the American aspect of it now, of the captain, because of what happened with the Olympics of the gold medal game. And so I don't think it was an issue beforehand. I think now it's just been more amplified in
For sure.
So I'm not as bought into the whole should it be in America. I think I'm more looking at I'm on the side of Tanner here, where I think Brady Tkachuk is just kind of a one of one, especially with the podcast. He's very, the spotlight really increased on him, especially this past year. I think you look at the characteristics of both Tkachuk compared to Sanderson. I think it's just night and day in terms of personality. So, Lee, you like to call me Safety Sam, but I'm not opposed to a Jake Sanderson captaincy either. So,
how many times did we hear about Jeff Sanderson walking around the arena and going to the Olympics and trying to get his son out of the city?
Yep,
just saying,
sneaking in shots on Jeff Sanderson's podcast.
Well, Jeff Sanderson doesn't have the clout that Walt does.
Yeah, Walt's going in the hall. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, I think the emotion is probably higher than like if he should get in on merit right now for people here. That people here don't like him, so they're not going to say, "Oh yeah, he's Hall of Famer. He never won anything either." But that's pure emotion right now out of people. But the American thing will drag on because we'll see what happens with Austin Matthews, right?
Yep.
Another captain of a Canadian team that we'll see if he's in for the long haul in Toronto. I have my questions about that.
Yeah. Yep. And there's still a lot swirling Connor Hellebuck as to whether he'll still be on the Winnipeg Jets by the end of the week.
Not the captain of Winnipeg, but one of the leaders of Winnipeg.
And then the other one obviously would be Zach Werenski, who it's come out today. Elliot Friedman reporting he's going to meet with the Columbus Blue Jackets to discuss his future after the NHL draft. And I mean, with Boone Jenner leaving there, probably a guy that they'd be considering for their next captaincy. I know it's not a Canadian market, but we already saw it also with Dylan Larkin there. Similar case to Werenski. So it's just that Team USA group there.
Yeah. Owen says if they draft McKenna, the Leafs Matthews is staying. I would say the opposite. If they draft McKenna, and this isn't a Leaf show, Owen, but if they draft McKenna, then they don't have first round picks for the next 2 years after that. And McKenna and Matthews are not going to make the Toronto Maple Leafs a contender. They are way too thin in a lot of areas to be able to do that. So I don't know. I think they're going to be safe and draft McKenna, but if I'm John Shake, I wouldn't. I would get a massive haul for him. I'd get some of my first round picks back. I'd still get a really good player near the top of this draft when I traded back, and I would start on the rebuild. And if you trade the pick and don't draft Gavin McKenna, you're going to get a haul. And then if you trade Austin Matthews, you're going to get a huge haul. And then you're probably set up again to get better. That's what I would do. Adam is in and says, I'd lean towards Sanderson as captain. American thing aside, Stutzle will have to focus on learning to play with Eklund and Sanderson's defenseman, which is the strength. Okay, I don't know that Stutzle's got to learn anymore. Like, Stutzle's a big time player in the National Hockey League now. I would agree like a couple of years ago, but he's turned a corner here.
Yeah, I think Stutzle would be a perfectly valid choice as captain as well. Honestly, I like Sanderson a bit more personally.
Yeah.
I kind of like the fact, though, that if you did put it on Stutzle, he's certainly a more dynamic personality. And I like that. Like, he gets mad. Mm-hmm. You don't see Sanderson really get mad. Like you mentioned it earlier, stoic. He is stoic. And that's not a bad quality for sure. I like the energy that Tim Stutzle has.
Me too.
And I think he has stepped up more so as a leader in the past season or two.
I was just going to say, I've seen more leadership qualities coming from him this past year. One of the things I also want to mention too, I did want to note as well, it's like, it's not like it's only Canadian team American captains that are demanding trades. And look at, like, we know with Dylan Larkin at the Detroit Red Wings, he's somebody that's also demanded a trade. I think it's more personally, these guys have played together on that Olympic squad. They had such a fun time together, winning a gold medal on that American squad. that they want to try and combine and go to these teams like a Florida, a Minnesota, and want to emulate some of that from the Olympics and put it onto these different super teams, I guess you could call it if you want. I think that's more the case here, where a lot of these guys, they had a blast, getting to play with each other on that team, and they're like, they want to have that sort of similar vibe coming in. It's like, look at Dylan Larkin. If you take the no movement clause, the teams that he wants to go to, like, it's similar. Like, that's how I kind of look at it personally. I think the American thing's a little too simplistic in my mind.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll make it even more simplistic than that. Players have the ability to go to teams that they think can win, and they want to win.
Yep.
And when Brady Tkachuk looks at Ottawa and Dylan Larkin looks at Detroit, are they in a position to win a Stanley Cup? Well, the answer is no. And they don't want to waste any more time. And I don't think you can blame them for that. I really don't. I just wish, in a world of where everybody seems to be lying a little bit, and it's just about how much you're lying, why can't guys just tell the truth?
Yeah.
Why can't Brady Tkachuk just get up there and say, hey, I've loved my time in Ottawa, but the opportunity to go and play with my brother and a chance to try and win a Stanley Cup in my home country and play with my brother, I only have 4 or 5 good years left before I'm going to be completely broken down, and I have an opportunity to go and play with my brother to try and win a Stanley Cup on a team that everybody thinks could possibly win the Stanley Cup. I don't want to pass that opportunity up. And you can be mad at that if you're a fan of the Senators or whatever, but that's what he's doing. That's honest. Him getting up there and coming back for the end of the season and saying it was a total lie that people were making things up when he had asked for a trade and had been thinking about it for a long time. Give me a break. Like, literally as disingenuous as you can get. And that's the problem. It doesn't appear that the players either understand that or care about it. I'm not sure which it is, but it's one of those two things. I'm going to lie and I'm not going to care. Or I really am going to be disingenuous and hope they don't notice. I'd call BS on that. Brady mailed it in for 3 months at the end of the year and then slunk out of town. Slunk is a really good word. Cool. Like I'm in on slunk.
You know that one.
I am. I'm gonna put that one in my vocabulary and say, like, Tanner and Zach kind of slunk away at the end of this show. I think Florida will crumble under the weight of all the ego in their room. They're awfully talented.
I think that a lot of what I read is Alexander Barkov's room. Yes. And he runs a pretty tight ship. Yep. So I wouldn't read too much into that.
I agree. And we talked about it on Sunday again. Is there anything wrong with players who have this weight of the captaincy and the entire team on their shoulders and a high draft pick of that team and can't get it done, to just go to another team that's really good where they don't have to be the guy and no one's going to shit on them if they play bad? Wouldn't we all like that sometimes? To go to our jobs and like go to a place that's awesome and everyone talks about, and you have the best chance to do what you want to do in life. And then if you screw up, really nobody's going to take you to task.
I would love that in my current role. I can tell you that, Lee.
Right. Exactly. Like, hey, I'd like to be on a better time slot in a bigger market. And then when I screw up, I don't want to hear about it. And I'm not going to have to hear about it.
Yeah.
And you can do it with family. Again, I wish Brady played hard the rest of the year when he came back from the Olympics and he wasn't this guy who did mail it in. He did mail it in. I wish he didn't do that. But I also wish that at the end of the year, if he wanted to leave, to just say, I want to leave. I want to go and play with my brother. And if you guys don't like that, I got a chance to win a Stanley Cup. Even the most staunch Ottawa Senators fan can look at the Florida Panthers lineup and go, yeah, that's a better team. Just tell the truth. Because now everyone's out here calling you a disingenuous liar and basically a dick. Right? Like, that's what everyone's thinking of him.
Yep.
So good on you. You want to look, Zach, Tanner, you and I, the three of us, we like our pro wrestling. And for people listening in, we do. This is Wrestling the Podcast. It's a really good podcast. It's been going on for a long time. Been doing it 7 years now, almost 7 years.
Crazy.
Wrestling has proved to the world that we need villains. We need villains, folks, because that's what sometimes the hero conquering makes it all that much sweeter. And the Florida Panthers are the villains to the Ottawa Senators. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that at all. Scott is in. I think those U.S. Sunbelt markets are probably a cakewalk. Play the game, no media fan scrutiny. Walk around in sandals. Nobody knows who you are. Not that they would in Florida, but I remember being at a game in Sunrise covering the Senators and the Florida Panthers. And at the time, it was right in the Danny Heatley, Jason Spezza, Daniel Alfredson pizza line. Like, we're the best line in the NHL. And they're walking around styling and profiling like Ric Flair, honestly. Like in Ottawa, like they were in the NHL. They were everything. I remember running into them at the mall in Florida. That's quite near the rink, but there's not much near the rink in Sunrise. There really isn't. It's kind of like Ottawa. Like it's way out. And I remember running into them in the mall and astonished. Like not anybody in the mall knew who they were. Like they were walking around in the middle of the mall, just doing anything they wanted. Not one person knew who they were.
And I was
just gonna say, it's a little different now. 20 years later, I get it, but still.
I was just going to add, like, I think it took a while for Florida to figure it out because I don't think it's just the weather and the taxes and all that and the media that create that team. It's definitely the winning culture. That's also a very big part of it. When you look at the way that Bill Zito has turned this franchise around in the last 5-10 years.
Yep. Players want to win hockey games. Sometimes it's just as simple as that. Why do you think a lot of those teams that you see on these no trade, I will only be traded here, are your Vegases or your Floridas or your Minnesotas or.
Mm-hmm. But also, you have to, like, we talk about the no pressure that exists down there, right? Like, if the Florida Panthers lose, do you think the media in Florida was taking them to task this year and like all over them? Like, why aren't they a contender? No. But you look at who the longest reigning. This would be a good thing. Tanner, I actually don't know. Fact checker, Zach.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answer to this.
Okay.
Who are the longest reigning coaches in the National Hockey League? Because I'm going to bet that John Cooper and Rod Brindamore and Paul Maurice are right up there. And when you talk about, people talk about Sunbelt teams, oh, it's the taxes, it's this and that. They have run those organizations where the GM is there and the coach is there, and you're not superseding any of that. I don't care whether you're Matt Tkachuk or Nikita Kucherov or I was trying to find a star in Carolina. I still can't do it. Stankovic. No.
Aho.
Yeah, but the whole point is that those organizations have provided the stability. And some of the reason that they have provided the stability is because there's no pressure on them when they lose. Like there's internal pressure from the owners, but they also understand that to win long term in the National Hockey League, you have to get the right people in, and you've got to stick with those people.
So you have a bit of a tidbit when we want to touch on it.
Our good friend PJ, who's in, says Seth Jarvis. Yeah, I was trying to find him in the playoffs still. PJ, even though they won the Stanley Cup, I'm trying to find him. Do we have an answer to this question?
No, I've just got another bit of news making the rounds in the rumor zone.
You wanted to get away from my incredible point that I was going to make about stability in the Sun Belt in Carolina and Florida and Tampa, who have been the best teams.
I do have some answers here for you, Lee, if you are.
Okay, so I have no idea. I literally don't know. I just know that I think about those organizations and I think stability. I think that they have provided the opportunity for players to go and know exactly what to expect.
Yes. So the longest tenured is John Cooper, March 25th, 2013.
Right.
He's been coach of the.
And he was their AHL coach before that.
Yep. So he's been there a while. Next would be Rod Brindamore. Rod the Bod.
1-2. What 1-2?
2018. I'm just searching through here. Another one. Paul Maurice, Florida Panthers, June 22nd, 2002. Actually, Martin St. Louis in here, February 9th, 2022.
Paul Maurice took over when?
Paul Maurice took over June 22nd, 2022, his start date.
So 3 of the top 4. Florida, Tampa, Carolina. And can we all agree for the last 10 or 15 years, those have been the best 3 teams? Okay.
Pretty much.
There's a reason why. Tanner, I'm listening to your tidbit now.
Yeah, so a bit of, I guess you would call it a rumor coming out of Edmonton. This is coming from Bob Stauffer, who is
Bob's very plugged in. So
very plugged in. He's on Oilers now, right now.
Yeah.
Says that he believes Connor Ingram is going to the Ottawa Senators, whether that be via trade or in free agency, because tampering doesn't happen. But Bob allegedly saying on the radio just within the last half an hour that he believes Connor Ingram will be an Ottawa Senator next year.
Really?
Interesting.
So I've talked to Bob. I know Bob, dealt with Bob a lot through my former place of employment. Bob is one of those guys that I respect very much. He is never short of an opinion, and he is, I don't want to call him a homer. He basically works for the organization. So when he talks, it's not really unbiased. Like, he's quite biased. But that doesn't mean like in a terrible way. It just means that's his job. And he gets paid a lot of money to do that. He's very influential within the Edmonton market and the Edmonton Oilers. Very influential. So if Bob Stauffer is saying something about a guy that plays in Edmonton, I'm going to listen. Do we have Connor Ingram's contract?
He's a free agent.
He is a free agent. So he had an .899 save percentage, 32 games with Edmonton this year. Again, Edmonton is such a difficult place for a goalie to go, look at my stats.
Yeah.
Arizona, Utah before that.
Previous contract was at $1.95 million for 3 years.
This to me fits the role of a bit more of a backup than a 1B, but a NHL goaltender that can come in and play well. Like if Connor Ingram comes in, hopefully if he plays well, but if he comes in, I wouldn't think the players would go, oh my God, we can only give up 8 shots today. Scott is in. See, we mentioned this before. You guys talk Red Blacks here. Surprised Drew Brown got moved. Look like they're all in on Jake Mayer.
Well, you repeat what you said on the post game show.
Yeah,
last
we
Red Blacks game.
We do talk Red Blacks, and we do have a Red Blacks pre and post game show. Next one coming up Sunday night against the Montreal Alouettes. But I did say that the leash was very, very long for Jake Mayer, and people probably didn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
and, you know, and then Jake Mayer went out and didn't play very well again. And I'm like, oh boy, like, but the leash is long, and it's long enough that Drew Brown's like, yeah. But Drew Brown didn't play well enough. I'm just sad that they traded Max, or they let go Max Duggan as well, the third quarterback from TCU. And anyway, they needed to make some changes because they're not playing very well either. So
I was going to say, well, when you're cutting Max Duggan, like that's because your short yardage situations aren't going so hot right now. So only team in the CFL that seems to have an issue having their short yardage play. But
yeah. Tristan Jerry, not a bad goaltender, but he looks like the worst goalie in the league in Edmonton. Yeah, welcome to the club. Stuart Skinner's there going, yep, I was here. And Connor Ingram probably, yeah, I was here. Imagine if you're a goalie, and if this is true, that what Bob Stauffer is saying, and I tend to believe stuff, like Bob Stauffer wouldn't be saying that publicly if he really didn't believe that. So to me, this one's like a 90%. That Connor Ingram will be here.
You'd have to think probably a little bit more cost effective than Stuart Skinner as well.
Well, that's it, because Skinner's going to get 3, 4, 5 years, and he might get $4 or $5 million a year. That's one of the guys that people are going to be stunned. And I think for Ottawa, yeah, they wanted to shore up their goaltending, but I don't know about bringing in a guy for $4 or $5 million at 4 or 5 years to be Linus Ullmark's backup or share the load. That's encouraging to me, because this is a guy that you would think can come in and do a decent role, like a quality backup. He's not going to save the day. He's not going to win the Senators the Stanley Cup, but he's a quality backup, as you mentioned, Tanner, at a cost-effective price point here, and it's going to allow them to have even more room to go out and do something. I was actually a little bit worried that they were going to spend too much on goaltending, because it was a big need for them. You can bring more tidbits like that, Tanner.
How about it?
Yes, Owen, Jordan Kyrou going to Washington.
That deal's long done.
Ethan says Edmonton, arguably the hardest team for any goalie to play in. Vasilevsky would struggle in Edmonton. Can't read too much into their stats, and that's why you got to do your homework. Scott says some guy online told me there's no pressure to win in Calgary or Ottawa in comparison to Vancouver or Toronto. I beg to differ on that. Yeah, that's just not true. In all Canadian markets, there is a ton of pressure to win. And you see, trying to think, like every Canadian team has like changed their coach in the last like year or two.
It'd just be St. Louis.
Right. Other than St. Louis and Montreal. You know, the guy who had never coached a game of hockey in his life came in to be an NHL coach, and he just worked out.
That's as we all expected.
Good for them, though. It also took time for Bill Zito to get it right. Staios is on the right track. Patience. Okay,
is Ethan preaching patience at us while also saying, I want a known player, like I need a known player right now?
Thank you for bringing that up. Zach, you need to be patient with 38-year-old guys to bring in. See, things are going really badly. I hope LA Knight gets a push. Reminds me of Eklund.
Oh,
You want to really get me
boy.
mad?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the two people in the comments that like wrestling are going to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll pop them.
I fault Larkin for wanting at Detroit less than I do Kachuk. Ottawa is only a few changes away from winning rounds. Detroit's in the longest playoff drought. That's a homer thing. Come on.
Yeah.
Ottawa's this close, guys. When they were like 27th in the NHL in January, they were this close. And then on this massive win streak to barely make the playoffs in 8th, and then they got swept. They're right there. Ethan, come on. Hate to say this because you guys might not agree, but Ethan's better than that.
No comment.
Okay, let's go back to William Eklund and where you guys see William Eklund fitting in on the Senators. And I don't want to hear he's best friends with Fabian Zetterlund, so that's going to be a great.
They're both going to score 50, and it's going to be kumbaya.
So, Tanner, who do you see William Eklund meshing with, and where does he even more generally fit into this lineup?
I think in a general sense, he's going to be a top 6 player on the left wing. If you ask me right now, I would probably be starting him with Tim Stutzle to see what happens there. He's a player that's known for his speed, bit of a pass first guy. I think I mentioned this earlier on the show, but seeing some of the reaction out of San Jose, some of the reports and the scouting, that he does have a bit of a booming shot, but a lot about his speed, a lot about being good in all 3 zones. So I think that does make sense to try with Tim Stutzle. Now, if they make another move and we're sitting here talking about an Alexis Lafreniere or some other winger, maybe that changes that a little bit. But I think at worst, you're going to be trying him on the second line. You have to be at this point with the guys that they have here. There's more than enough bottom 6 forwards, and I think Eklund is brought in here to be a top 6 guy.
Is he a finisher though? With this big booming shot, is he going to be projected to try to score more goals as an Ottawa Senator?
From what I've seen, power play scoring has been strong, but it's the 5-on-5 that needs a little bit more work.
Do we think Tim Stutzle can score like 40, 50 goals a year?
I think he could score 40. I don't think he could score 50.
He's not a 50 goal scorer at this point, I don't think. Maybe hovering around 40. Maybe. If all the right circumstances come around, but I don't see.
If you find the right wingers for him, yep. I think he could. I mean, he came pretty close to 40 twice now. He had 34 this year, 39 a couple of years ago. So I think it's possible.
Yeah, sometimes I can't make it up. Ethan's like absolutely could be a 45 goal scorer because he just went right in the middle of everything that we're saying.
And I've got the safety Sam moniker. Come on.
Yeah, no, listen, that's as safety Sam as I've seen.
Come on.
I don't know about 45, but 50, I would say no.
Can I know this is a Sens podcast, but we did talk a little Red Blacks a little bit. Can I bring up what just popped in my inbox?
Yeah.
The Red Blacks have signed a quarterback.
Oh, okay. Good.
They have signed McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Oh, my guy.
Yeah.
I love McLeod Bethel Thompson. MBT, baby. I'm going to guess he wasn't playing. What's he been doing? Yeah. How old is he?
He is 37. He's going to turn 38 this year.
There you go. Owen says that's a long name. It's hyphenated, Owen.
Yeah.
They need a power play. I think you're talking about Stutzle scoring.
Maybe William Eklund will help that a little bit if he is more of a pass first guy.
The Unk QB. That's right, Julian.
I'm not gonna lie, Lee. When I saw Unk, I'm like, is Lee gonna read this as University of North Carolina?
He was a Tar Heel? Whoa.
There's a little bit of me that's like, I was kind of hoping for that.
But Zach, I'm so with it. I
You're
knew
with
it was
it.
the Unk. I try and be an Unk myself sometimes. Yeah, like if Eklund is paired with Stutzle, did they make each other better? Were they? You just don't want everyone passing all the time, and everyone yells at Tim Stutzle to shoot all the time. Is this the year that Tim Stutzle decides that okay, Brady's gone, I'm the leader. I have to score 40. I have to score 45 if this team is gonna get there, and then I'm gonna get one more just to prove Ethan wrong and get 46. But like, I have to shoot more, and then Eklund ends up being a guy that's setting Timmy up. But Eklund's got the big shot. And Timmy's like, well, no, you need to shoot. If I see this, they get on the power play and they end up passing to each other 48 million times and no one's shooting, that can't happen.
I think their power play is going to look very different next year. I mean, you think about losing Brady Tkachuk as the net front presence there on the first power play unit.
Yep.
I think they're going to have to draw it pretty much up from scratch for what their strategies and plays will be, which you would maybe hope with how some of the results have been.
Could it be worse?
They did still finish top 10 analytically in the league, but I think it did leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah, that's one of those stats that you're like...
Do you remember that from the playoffs? How great the power play was?
Yeah.
Ethan says, I'll remind you that Stutzle was playing a shooting first mentality when Brady was injured, so Lee not out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, this team played different when Brady was out of the lineup.
Yeah.
I was the guy beating the drum going, watch how this team plays when Brady gets back in and will they play the same? And then the answer was no, they didn't play the same because Brady started cheating again and all the good things that they were doing. And this isn't because he's gone. Well, I said this like 4 months ago.
It's on the record.
That watch when this team was playing so well when Brady was out of the lineup because nobody was cheating. And my big thing when Brady came back was, will this team change the way they play because Brady starts cheating? Will everyone else start cheating again? And the answer was yes for a little bit. But then Brady didn't play very well, and then he went to the Olympics and didn't come back and play very good. And this team just was a whole different team, probably without Brady Tkachuk being a big part of it. That's the exciting thing, I think, if you're a Sens fan, that this team played really well without the guy. L of a trade for San Jose says MRA-W4Z. We need a better handle than that.
I don't see how it's a loss for San Jose, to be honest. Because
no,
you don't need Eklund anymore. You're about to have Ivar Stenberg slot into that left wing, and they're going to get the defenseman that their system really needs.
And they don't need to win now, right? They need to build with Celebrini and have these guys come up with them to be a powerhouse later on. And William Eklund's probably not going to do that, right? Brady Tkachuk wasn't even the second best player on his team. That I would agree with.
Yeah,
but that's different though than the Eklund deal.
Yeah, I was just going to add, like, Celebrini had a great year this year, but he's still 20 years old. Like, the player that they're about to draft is going to be two and a half years younger than him.
Yeah. So?
Yeah, just adding to the fact, like, there's no rush for them. Like, it's okay to be trading away that player for the draft pick.
No, totally. Totally agree with that. Like, they don't need to be great next year. They need to bring these guys all up together. And as you said, they picked 2 and 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, oh man. See, I was right there with McDursel I was right there with you. Like all through the show, you've had some really good points until this one. You could argue that Cousins was their third best.
He's not saying definitively. He's just saying you can make the argument for it.
Yeah. Well, I would make the argument that he was not the third best. How about that? And I could make that argument really, really good.
Not a big fan of the power play, shooting from the power play, getting all his goals there. No,
I'm not a big fan that Dylan Cousins needs. When people were buying into the defensive system, I needed to see more out of Dylan Cousins in that regard.
I was going to say on Cousins, do you put any stock to his performance at the World Juniors when he was playing on the wing? Mostly with Sidney Crosby and Macklin Celebrini at a very strong tournament.
the World Hockey Championship.
I was like, the World Juniors. Holy man.
Sorry, World Championships.
I was like, Crosby is the World Juniors? This
the World Seniors?
I do. Because when you look down the middle, if Ridley Gregg or Dylan Cousins, if you're keeping both of them, one of them is going to have to move to the wing and be an effective winger for this team. Because none of those guys are like, they're too good to be a fourth line center. But Pinto's not going anywhere. And call it what you want, second line, third line for Pinto. It's a very, very important position looking after the best team's top lines, which that line ends up playing more. Like that line, we all know. You guys loved, Tanner, you loved your Shane Pinto and Michael Amadio. Like you love that line. Right?
Yeah, the third line, the Greg Pinto Amadio. Yeah. But you could saw Giroux there too. He's played there at times. It's been a combination of those four, but it's been the Senators' most effective line for the most part. Yeah,
I agree. And whether it's the third line or it's actually the second line because they play more, they just don't play an offensive role. So people designate them the third line, but they end up playing more sometimes than even the first line. So like when you look at all the minutes and take away the power play time, that line plays the most. So McDursel says Flyers have been dreaming of Pinto for years. Yeah, it's going to take a lot to get Shane Pinto out of Ottawa.
Yeah.
He is so good and so valuable. Now, again, I think everyone's available. I keep hearing Owen Tippett's name. Everyone wants to talk about him. Sean is in with Jake DeBrusk. How do you guys feel about Jake DeBrusk? Tanner?
Yeah. That's kind of my reaction. Like maybe, but really struggled, especially at even strength in Vancouver. And he's always been a very streaky forward dating back to his Boston days. Like great on the power play this year for the Canucks. But aside from that, I think there's still a little bit to be desired. Maybe if Eklund wasn't the move here and you were bringing DeBrusk in and doing something else, but also I'm not giving up the 9th overall pick for Jake DeBrusk.
Right. Oh God, no.
So to sum it up, yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's the right guy.
I don't love it either. I don't hate it. It's
Safety Sam coming in the middle.
There he is.
I don't hate it. I love it. It's kind of just.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Why don't you not love it or hate it? Like 23 goals.
I mean, I like sometimes on bad teams you can look a little bit better on a bad team because you get some more opportunities, but he's not somebody that strikes me as the right fit for this squad. Like maybe if you wanted to, as Tanner alluded to on the power play, if you wanted some power play depth, if you believe that he is that power play specialist, like I see some in the chat are saying, maybe.
Well, okay, last year he had 19 power play goals.
Yep.
But before that, He's been very, very consistent scoring at even strength. If you go back past last year, something clicked for him on the power play. But DeBrusk had 23 goals last year. 22 of them came from like 10 feet in front of the net. Where did Brady Tkachuk hang out? Right?
And maybe that fills a need now. I think if you asked me earlier in the summer before today when the Eklund move happened, I'd maybe wonder about if they were to do a move where it would be DeBrusk in and Zetterlund out.
Right.
Of a swapping of contracts. You probably have to attach a pick there to make that happen. That's something I'd consider, but I don't think just adding Jake DeBrusk for future assets makes a ton of sense right now for this team.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Now I'm going to be safety Sam and be right in the middle. Like you're going to have to, it's going to have to be the right deal to bring him here, but I wouldn't be out on him. Like he scored pretty consistently at even strength before last year. And again, on the power play, had 19 goals of his 23, but like all of them were scored from 10 feet. All of them. That's where you need somebody. Because who is that player for the Ottawa Senators right now? Yes, you're missing Brady Tkachuk. He was that player. Who is that player now? Is there a guy elevating into the role in Ottawa? I don't think so.
Like, is Ridley Gregg that guy? Maybe on the second unit.
Yeah, like he's a robust player, but I don't know that he's like just this, I'm going to go to the front of the net and I'm going to get 25, 30 goals because I'm going to stand here all the time.
Right.
And he's not really an elite scorer yet.
Like maybe it's Dylan Cousins in that spot.
Yeah, I can tell you that
not sure.
That's not going to happen.
Somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Is it Batherson? They're not putting Stutzle down there.
What do you guys think about Drake Batherson? How do you feel about him right now? Like, is he a member of the team come July 1st and they sign him and you guys are going to be fine when he signs for like $8 million a year?
I think at this point, that's probably what they're going to do. I think that's probably the best move because like if he does go, then who's coming in?
Well, but obviously somebody if they trade him.
If it's not an upgrade of some sort, I don't think it makes sense to let Drake Batherson walk when you could keep him for $8 million.
But what if it is an upgrade though?
Upgrade, then sure, I'll hear you out. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, to me, Batherson and the 25th pick could get you a substantial return. He's got a year left at 4.9. That is great value for what he does.
If you could turn that into a Robertson or a Dorofeyev, yeah, sure.
The Robertson one, people keep saying it. And I know that he was just brought up on the chat again. Robertson would have been cool for you guys. They are, those insiders you're reading last night, like the number for him is going to be eye-popping, they say. Absolutely eye-popping.
Yeah. I've seen 14 thrown around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And would you be cool with Jason Robertson for $14 million when Tim Stutzle is making 8.25 or what's Tim making?
Like, 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5. And Sandy's making the same. And Jason Robertson's making double of what they're making. That's how you destroy a team. You bring in another guy that's not part of the culture. And look, he might be an amazing guy, but you bring in a guy that's not part of the culture and you give him twice as much as everybody else. That doesn't go well most of the time.
Yeah. I feel like, I wonder about like a Chicago for him. Just to throw a random team out there, obviously.
For who, sorry?
For Robertson, if they'd be a good suitor, get him alongside Connor Bedard.
Yeah.
I do wonder about Dorofeyev, I know being brought up here in the comments from Owen. I wonder if you could get him at a little bit of a lower deal. If they could parlay a Batherson and another asset into Dorofeyev, and if not, throw an offer sheet at Pavel Dorofeyev. I mean, Vegas hasn't exactly done Ottawa any favors in the last couple of years.
What do you think about Dorofeyev's ability to play not with Vegas? Like, is he a good player no matter where he goes? Or is he a good player on a pretty stacked team?
I would be interested in seeing what he could do alongside Tim Stutzle. Does sound like a trade might be going down right now, not with the Senators.
See, good. Got that out early. Excellent.
Elliot Friedman saying it sounds like talks are intensifying between Buffalo and Chicago involving Boehm Byram. Just a crazy day for trades. Feels like it really picked up since the Simone Nemec one earlier today between Calgary and the Devils, but sounds like another trade is coming down.
Zegras is going to get 8+ in term. Batherson's pretty close to Z. Julian says still would not sign Batherson unless it's in the $6 to $7 million range. And I know somebody, it was Ethan, saying $8 million today's cap is extremely reasonable for Batherson's caliber. See, this is where you see too much of a player or you don't see enough of a player, right? Like, people outside look at the stats and he does score some big time goals. And they're like, oh man, that guy, like, he got another year at 4.9. Yeah. When he resigns, he's going to get like 8. And then we watch him here. Well, I watch him here and I go, yeah, that guy's not an $8 million player. And I don't care what the cap going up and everything else. Your cap of your team has your best players at 8 or 8.5.
I would not pay him over Tim Stutzle's contract. That's right. That's an end. Yeah, that's a hard no for me.
He just doesn't do enough at the other end of the ice. And he's like a lot of goal scorers. He's very streaky, but he's one of those guys that if he's not scoring goals, I don't know what he does for your team. Like, he doesn't do other things for your team that you're like, okay, he's not scoring, but look at all the things he's doing to help this team win. I don't look at Drake Batherson that way at all. Where other guys I do. Zegras is the center with 33% faceoffs and is going to make more than their best forward in Konechny. Yeah, but that's a you problem. That you don't have to. And if you do that, that's why teams don't get better. Because they keep guys for unreasonable numbers and then they have no room down later on to actually make the team better. And I don't like bringing up Konechny because he's like one of my favorite guys ever.
Yes.
I like him too.
And I'm still pissed that the Senators did not take him in 2015 when he played for the Ottawa 67s and they watched him every day. And I covered that team and he was amazing. He was exactly the type of player that you want on your team. And the Sens had 2 picks before that and decided with both of them not to take Travis Konechny. It hurts my heart. Just an unbelievable. I still think it's the best draft.
Yeah. 2015.
Maybe ever. Like, people talk about 2003. This one is just, it's insane. Like, just looking, and that we talk about Jake DeBrusk as that was brought up as Boston had 3 straight picks and took Zaboral, DeBrusk, and Senyshyn. But at 16, and this is like the top 10 is loaded. Top 10's McDavid and Eichel and Marner and Hanifin and Provorov and Werenski, Timo Meier, Mikko Rantanen, Lawson Krause. Like, that's your top 11. And then you're like, well, there can't be any more good players, right? Barzell at 16, Kyle Connor at 17, Thomas Chabot at 18, Joel Eriksson Ek at 20. And that's where the Sens took Colin White at 21. And we'll just,
yeah.
Samson off the goalie at 22, Brock Besser at 23, Konechny 24, Jack Roslovic 25, Beauvillier 28.
A few late round sneakers too. Kirill Kaprizov went in that draft.
Did he really?
Yep. I believe in the 5th round.
My God.
Yep. 5th round, 135th overall.
Ethan, you're driving me crazy now. Okay. You've actually jumped the shark here.
Yeah. That's got to be rage bait here.
Leon makes more than McDavid. If you're doing this on purpose, it's working. Stop. Like Leon Draisaitl is one of the best players in the game. And Connor's probably like, if you don't sign him, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
MRA says Cirelli went late in that draft too, 3rd round. Like, oh my God, that draft was just insane. I was there in Fort Lauderdale and riding up the elevator with Connor McDavid by himself. Jack Eichel had about 1 million people around him. McDavid was just wandering around by himself. His parents were there, but like he was doing things by himself. Twice he rode up in the elevator, me, him, and Ian Mendes, just the 3 of us.
Remember the Pierre Dorion quote about McDavid saying he was going to try and kidnap him at the draft?
Yes. So many things we could go back to.
Yeah.
Just imagine the quotes we would have gotten this week if Pierre Dorion was still the general manager of the Ottawa Senators.
Garland went in the 5th round in that draft.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and how does Kaprizov go 135th? Same thing. Kucherov was the late 2nd. Right? Like people just don't want to take chances on Russian players. Even though they're incredible. Like Brandon Spavoda, Kasper Haltunen, and William Eklund, part of the Ottawa Senators as they give up the 9th pick for those 3 players. Are the Senators done? So before Friday night, they now have picks 25 and 32. Are they done before Friday, Tanner?
No, I don't think they make pick 25.
Really?
I'm in the same ballpark.
Really, Zach?
Yeah. I think they're going to. The trade just screamed to me that they're going to do more. It's just, especially with what they were able to get for that pick. Like, yeah, I think I think there's going to be more incoming.
So before Friday, or are you guys including kind of free agency in this?
I mean, just basing, like I said, the 25th pick, I'll say Friday, but maybe it happens during the show, like during the draft.
Right.
And then if it's not significant enough, yeah, I think there's obviously something coming in the offseason.
By the way, folks, we are going to be live draft party Friday night for anybody that wants to come. It's going to be like kind of one of our watch along parties. So if you want to join us Friday night, because I couldn't think of anything better than a Friday night to just put the feet up on the couch and turn on This Is OSN.
That's right.
I might get a dignitary over here or two. We'll see.
Ooh.
Friday night.
How about it?
We've had some good watch parties before. So I'm going to put the draft on here. Figure out who's going to go. Argue on where William Eklund's going to fit into the lineup. But this one feels like I do agree with both of you guys. It feels like a third or like a half of the plan of the Ottawa Senators before the beginning of the season. They've traded Brady Tkachuk. They brought in William Eklund for the 9th overall pick and a couple of prospects. You hope the prospects work out. But it doesn't feel like things are over. It's cap space, right? Like to me, they have a lot of cap space. And just because they're not going to go necessarily to the very top with their internal cap, but now more than ever, when you lose Brady Tkachuk, you can't just go, well, we got William Eklund. And I hope William Eklund turns out to be a really good player here in Ottawa. But you can't just go, we got William Eklund. We're done. So it feels like there's more to come. Overall, for the 9th overall pick, what do you guys feel like this is a win? I know Zach's going to feel like right in the middle, Tanner. So like some good, some bad. We'll see how it plays out. We'll get a couple.
Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't given my take yet.
I know. I'm just prefacing for people.
Don't spoil me, brother. Like, come on.
Prove us wrong, Zach. What's the take?
Okay.
A little bit of this. No.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Zach. What is your take about?
No, I like this deal. Just for me, looking at it from a prospect perspective, I'm very interested in Haltunen and how he's going to fit down the line. I know Sens fans, with the way the team is constructed, that they'll be looking at what's to come here in the immediate, but I look at that prospect with Haltunen, and I am very intrigued to see where he goes. There's a lot of things that you can really sink your teeth into in terms of his intangibles and what he brings. Again, like we were talking about heavy shots, he's somebody that has one of those, and he's also a big presence, like big body presence, and a decent skater for his size, from what I've seen. So I'm interested to see now being able to, because I've shockingly not a lot of San Jose Barracuda games making their way to Belleville.
Okay.
So nice to be able to get a firsthand look to see how he's going to do.
Is that because you guys have TVs there, or?
No, you'd be surprised to hear, but a lot of the times the Belleville Sens like to stay eastbound as opposed to going out west. So, but I think prospects wise is interesting, and in the media could be interesting.
Julian says, bit of news: Belleville will bring back the head coach they had this past season.
They did. They formally announced it a couple of days ago. There was a coaching search, but they ended up going with Andrew Campbell, Soup, as they are calling him down in Belleville.
Oh my God. A guy with the last name Campbell has a nickname of Soup or Soupy?
Yep.
I
know you're stunned as well. I for one was shocked too.
We all need to be better than this.
But I think the big thing, once again, when it comes to
I call him Lipton. Sorry. I know you're like really going in on Andrew Campbell. I'm gonna call him Lipton from now on.
Oh, okay.
I like Lipton soup. It's good.
I was also thinking maybe James Lipton, the movie,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Does Tanner know who James Lipton is? That's the real question.
No. 100% no.
100% no. But no, I mean, he's somebody that comes from the Brantford Bulldogs system. Like, he was an assistant coach there. Yep. And then he recently joined the Belleville Sens, I want to say a year or two ago, and then took over for the head coaching, took over as interim head coach for David Bell, who actually just got announced. He's now the head coach for the Regina Pats in the WHL, David Bell. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's taken over. I've heard he's, just from my chats with people there, well liked within the organization. Think he's a smart young guy. He's 38, so interested to see how he does with a full season with the squad and with some new prospects coming in. So,
all right, Tanner, how you feeling about this deal as a whole right now for the Ottawa Senators?
I like it. I think when you look at a vacuum, especially the 9th overall pick versus Eklund, the 9th overall pick would be an 18-year-old kid that you would hope would be Eklund in 3 to 5 years. Eklund fits this team's timeline better. He's closer to the current core. He's a Swede, so you don't have to worry about the American factor if that's becoming a thing. I think there's a bit of untapped upside there. So I think just even in a vacuum, that is a win. And then also replenishing the prospect pool with 2 guys that could end up being NHLers is also a good thing when you look at the state that the Senators prospect pool is in right now. So yeah, overall, I think it's a net positive. Interested to see how Eklund fills out into this roster and what other moves Staios has in store. Because like I said, I don't think they're done.
So right now, just for context, Scott Wheeler, his latest that he put out after this trade, has the San Jose Sharks taking Daxon Rudolph, the right-handed D out of Prince Albert, in the WHL at the number 9. And like you guys are saying, they get Stenberg at 2. They get their right shot D of the future. in Daxon Rudolph at number 9, and they put him opposite Sam Dickinson, and they're kind of set. So, but that's going to take a while, right? Like, remember and remind me, Zach, Carter Yakimchuk was a
minus 30, Lee.
What's that? No,
He was
see, Zach, I really appreciate that your mind is like that, because I was actually going to ask you what position overall he was drafted at, and I'm was he 9th?
I believe he was 9th. It might have been 7th.
7th, so the exact same position as Eklund.
Oh, okay, 7th. But I
maybe he could take on the 7 number. Maybe he could take on the number 7 number because
are we really back at that now?
Yeah.
Zach, why would you bring that up?
Minus 30.
I didn't bring it up initially.
You just did.
I meant the previous conversation. Of course, I brought it back up.
What previous conversation?
I see.
He's trolling you now.
I see what he's doing now. The Ethan Fink method. I appreciate it.
Exactly. But it's interesting, like, how long would, like, if the Sens just picked Daxon Rudolph, and like, we're going to look for a right D for the future here. How long until Daxon Rudolph, like, is an impact player? And that does go against what Steve Staios is saying, that they're not taking a step back. And I do agree, like, their core of Stutzle and Sanderson, Shabbat's a little bit older, but like Pinto and Ridley Gregg, and like, they're not 18 and 19. They're not like super old, but they've elevated their game to start to be contenders. See, I want to know who this is, because this is exactly what somebody texted me last night close to our group. Ristolainen and Tippett for Pinto. Yet no chance. No chance.
Yeah, too much value going the other way, I think.
Yeah.
And I don't mind either of those players, but Shane Pinto is going to be like, I mean, he was up for what did he finish? 5th this year? 6th in Selke voting. He's going to be up in the top 3 or 4 most years, because this team's going to get better. And when they get better and they score more goals, you'd be surprised how much people will actually look at, oh, and they can play defense too. Philly writers are dumb. That's why I'm here.
Love it.
Yeah, sorry. Look, I don't mind Tippett. Ristolainen would be an upgrade on the Sens defense, but Shane Pinto is going to be part of this core, and why Shane Pinto is going to be, for some team, the reason why they get to a conference finals, and not because his stats are going to stick out, but because when they surround him, him and whoever he's playing with are going to be able to look after other top lines very effectively. And you have to do that. Barkov's amazing at it. We saw what Jordan Stahl did this year for Carolina. You have to have someone like that. And the Sens now have it. Why would you ever give it up? We appreciate you're there from Philadelphia. I love Philadelphia.
You almost laughed at that.
No, I love Philadelphia.
Home of the ECW Arena.
That's right.
Bingo hall.
Yep. Just don't reveal the NFL team. We'll be fine.
That's true. You know what? I forgot about the Eagles there for a second.
Yeah,
I'm glad you reminded me. No, I did. Because I was thinking about, I was there in 2014 for the draft and went to, I think I did 3 cheesesteak places, but AJ went to all 7. Like, he went to 7. He went to 7 in like 4 days. Like, 2 cheesesteaks a day every day. Like, what are you doing?
Well, I guess if you're going to go to Philly, you got to.
Well, and I did run up and I beat him up the stairs and the rocky stairs. And I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you do the pose at the end too?
Yeah, of course I did.
Absolutely. Got it. Was the music playing in the background when you did it?
It should have been.
Mm.
But from a standpoint of how to bring people to events, Philadelphia has got it right. They have the football stadium and the baseball stadium and the hockey arena all in the same venue, which is at the end of their subway line that connects to the highway. And it's like, if you're downtown, yeah, it's a little bit away from downtown, but if you're downtown, you get on the subway and you ride it to the end and you get off and you're at the game. And you get back on afterwards and it's all going back into the city. And then the highway connects there and there's parking. They have it right. It's like, let's just make one place. We're going to make it convenient for everybody as much as we possibly can. I appreciate that about Philadelphia. My first game I ever attended was in 2005. Can you guess what game? We're talking football or hockey here?
I think it's hockey.
Well, it can't be hockey. 2005? There's a lockout. And he's trying to... Zach, come on. He's trying to roll with you.
Okay.
Yeah, let me guess. Eagles, Cowboys, and the Eagles destroyed them.
If it was hockey, I was going to guess, wasn't there a brawl with Ray Emery and the Philly goalie around that time?
That would have been in...
Was that in Ottawa?
With the Philly goalie?
I thought it was a Philly goalie.
He fought Marty Baron at Buffalo.
Yeah.
I might be thinking of Buffalo.
In 2007? Oh. He's like, damn, I think I love this guy. Yeah, that's me, by the way. So he says 2004.
See, that's what I thought. Like he was mentioning because it wasn't.
Oh, so you thought he meant the year before when he made the mistake. You knew he made the mistake.
Well, yes, because look, he corrected his mistake.
Yeah, but you knew that he did.
Look, I'm just saying, when you're right, you're right.
Yeah. You're not right.
No, I
What
was.
are you about?
Let's rewind a couple seconds
You
here.
didn't say 2004. He means 2004. You didn't say that. So
that's it. So Emery had a fight in Philly later. That's why I crossed it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, gotcha.
What game in 2004 sends Flyers?
Oh, is it the brawl?
That wasn't that in 2004. No. The Spezza, when Spezza got like 100 penalty minutes.
It was 04.
No way.
Wow.
March 5th, 2004.
Jason Spezza had just been called up in like 2003 in the playoffs. I wouldn't have thought that would have been that early in Spezza's career. He was at the brawl.
Yes.
Come on, my brain was saying 2004. I love you both now.
That means me too, Lee.
Yeah,
that means me too, Lee.
Well,
maybe he was talking about me.
Yeah, he wasn't. You're actually.
I know nothing about
we can both agree on this, Lee. It was not Tanner. I'm sorry, Tanner.
Ethan trying to make himself feel better with damn, I was 2 when that happened. Good. We have more experience. And we read too. Not everyone's old like me, and they still remember things. Zach knew exactly 2004, even though the guy said 2005. Zach knew.
I had a feel he was talking about hockey, so I was practically correct.
I just remember how many junior games I did in 2005 with no NHL.
Yes.
I remember how many. There's a lot. Owen says I was 11 in 2004. That makes me feel a little bit better. What a game to be at, that brawl.
Yeah. For your first one, too.
Yeah, so Emery fought Biron in 07.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Ottawa beat Buffalo in 2006. No, sorry, they lost to Buffalo in 2006. What am I talking about? When Jason Pominville walked around Daniel Alfredson in overtime shorthanded and scored the series-winning goal when Ottawa thought they were going to go to a cup run. end up going and beating Buffalo the next year in 2007. Well, Philly still has the, Keith Primo scoring in like the 100th overtime. Right? Oh, and it says I'm 32 now. Oh, just makes me feel old when people say that. I complimented you earlier, Lee, and everything. I even changed my stance on the need for an overpaid Robertson type because of you, and you still take jabs at me. What, you think just because you suck up to me, now I'm going to suck up to you?
I was going to say, what a suck up.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way.
Wow. Okay. So I mentioned the Byram deal earlier. Some insiders saying that the 4th overall pick in the draft might be a part of this deal.
Wow. That surprises me.
Me too.
Shocking that Chicago would give up. Well, I mean, you can't pick. You can't go and just pick in the top five forever. But damn, that's
true. Yeah, that's a pretty price for Bo Byram.
He's a good player, though.
Apparently, some other players as well. Elliot Friedman now saying, "Yep, the 4th overall pick is part of this," and some other players.
How many picks have been traded in this year's draft now? Did we have that stat? Were we talking about that on Sunday night? That how many picks? Wasn't it 10 of the picks have already been traded? And that was before the Sens traded, and now this one? That's 12. Oh, look, one of those dignitaries calling me right now. Should I pick it up?
Live on the air?
Yeah, I can't get that person on the air, though.
Oh.
If I pick up the phone. So
Mm.
I would have if I could have just put them on the air. But
It's going to be the 4th overall pick, another pick, and a player going to Buffalo for Byram. Apparently. Does that not seem like a little rich for Bo Byram? To me, at least.
yeah, he's always left me wanting a little bit more. I know he's a good player, but he's always left me. But he's still young, right? 25. What did you think of Werenski like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a little bit of the comparison to me. Where like if somebody just had a bet that Werenski was going to be what he is, then they would have made bigger pushes before to go get him. And now look at him. It does seem like a lot. Like initially, it seems like a lot. Michael says Buffalo's got to be flipping that number 4 pick, right? Well,
Who knows?
I would agree. I think if Byram wanted out or didn't really want to be there or whatever the case of them trading Byram, they are not standing and like, we're going to draft the 4th overall guy and let him marinate. And, in 2 or 3 years, he's going to be a really good player. Buffalo's got to be in the same boat as Ottawa. We need to get going now. You finally get back to the playoffs. You lose an absolute heartbreaker to the Montreal Canadiens. You are looking to take next steps. I would agree. I'd be shocked if Buffalo just picked 4th.
And it doesn't sound like they're particularly close with Tuck, so they might be looking to fill that gap at some point as well. And I know they were talking to St. Louis. That was kind of widely reported about Parayko. Maybe a Robert Thomas or someone like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Byram definitely going to take Chicago to that next level. Seems like a lateral move, but I suppose they do need a guy that can play in the top 4. Korchinski hasn't worked. You can't just draft young guys forever and hope that you're going to get better. I mean, you just need to take that next step at some point. And this will probably show a lot of the Blackhawks that they are going to take the next step. They're going to try and do it.
Cam Robinson now coming out saying, I don't think the GMs are done for the day. Sounds like Buffalo has more irons in the fire after this Byram deal is culminated.
Yeah. I love that teams are just like, yeah, let's take a shot. Michael says, curious to see if Buffalo tries to dangle 4 overall for Nyes. John Chayk has done a good job at just kind of settling things down, right? In Toronto, and not ruffling any feathers. But are they going into a rebuild or not? What are they doing? Like, Riley's gone. They take Radish. Is Austin Matthews really coming back? Oh, our buddy Chris is here. Hi, guys. What did I miss today?
Not much.
I'd say you missed a little, you missed a lot with us.
You might have missed some. You might not have missed some.
Zach, be more believable because you actually are going to have that take anyway. So be believable when you do say that. Okay. Like don't mock yourself like it's somehow out of the range of possibility that you could say exactly those words. I find it interesting Toronto isn't flipping their first overall pick if they actually believe they had a 1-season slump. Yeah, but they're in a weird spot, like new coach, new GM, a lot of controversy around the GM. You end up trading Gavin McKenna and he turns out to be the star that some people think he's going to be. Like this is the Lafreniere thing. This is the Alexander Daig thing way back. This is like, you need to take the guy because it's the guy. And if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out, but you're going to be crucified if you take him or you don't take him and he works out somewhere else.
Yeah. There's a reason you don't see first overall picks get traded very often.
Yeah. 100%. And they don't always work out, right? Like, I think people in Ottawa are very, very happy about Tim Stutzle and Jake Sanderson at 3 and 5. And is Lafreniere a bad player? No. Is Byfield a bad player? No. Haven't heard a lot from Philip Zadina, but but the point is like there was so much pressure to take Lafreniere because he's going to be the next guy. They almost couldn't do anything about it. It's a fun time of year on a Tuesday night here because teams are setting up for Friday night. And they're doing so with all kinds of capital right now. I remember going to Minnesota in 2011 for the draft. And I'm sitting there and you're getting all set and you're like, all the prospects you've got down pat. You're like, what could possibly happen? And I literally like got from the airport. We got to the hotel, like just putting their bags in the room. And Philly speaking of Philly, traded Jeff Carter and Mike Richards. And it just sent everybody into this frenzy. But it was awesome afterwards, right? Like afterwards, you're like, oh man, it was buzzing. Pour went out for me while I cried about Nolan Patrick over both Heiskanen and Makar. Yeah, that's a tough one, man. Like that sucks. Like, because what do? I mean, that draft was so good.
I mean, bring up Zadina again, who went right after Zadina. Quinn Hughes, who had played in Michigan, who the Red Wings told at the draft, hey, if you're still available, we're going to take you.
Yeah.
And then who they couldn't sign in the trade this year because they were too upset to let go of Simon Evanson. A lot of domino effects there for Stevie Y.
And that wasn't a great, I mean, some good players. There wasn't a great draft in 17. Like Nico Heischer's an okay player. I like him. But when you go number 1, you're supposed to have flash, and he's kind of a defensive guy. But like Cody Glass, Elias Anderson only ever played 110 games, 7 goals for the Rangers. Middlestat. It's not a great draft. So, of course, the infamous Eric Brandstrom draft. Yeah, you never know, right? You go back, 2011 was a good draft. I remember being there, and it was like, Nugent Hopkins never really worked out until later. He turned out he's still a good player, but there's some good, really good guys taken in that one. And in 2012 was terrible. 2012 was like the Neil Yakupov number 1 overall, Ryan Murray number 2, Galchenyuk number 3, Griffin Reinhart 4. Like, my God. Morgan Riley obviously is, decent career, but like, no. Philip Forsberg at 11. You have to get back into that draft a little bit, like Tom Wilson, Thomas Hertl, Vasilevsky, down in the late teens and 20s there. Who was the bell? Oh, Brendan Gaunce. Just reading some of these guys, like even guys that have had decent careers, like in the second round, but Jordan Martinook and Colton Sissons and Brock McGinn, Jake McCabe. This is not a good draft at all. I'd put this up as one of the worst, 2012. PJ says, problem is that junior hockey goes in 3-year waves. Yeah. I mean, I don't think anymore. I think it used to. I don't know about that anymore. Like for teams, it does. Not necessarily for the leagues, but I understand what you're saying. What time, Tanner, did I tell you that we'd go to?
Like you said, 8:59 before we came on the air. Getting close.
Didn't I say 8:45, Zach?
No, you said, I think either 8:59 or 8:57.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We got 50 more minutes to go.
Oh, boy. Hunker down here. Get the seatbelt on.
Cutter was one of the first U.S. national team players to pull this prima donna crap after Matthews went to Florida, now that I think about it. Bobby Ryan taken 2nd overall that year, 2014. Oh, no, 14 is when he came to Ottawa. Bobby Ryan was in 05. Wasn't he the 2nd pick when Crosby went first here? Yeah.
Yep.
It was in Ottawa. I was at that draft. That was the... I'll never forget this. Going over, and it was Devin Setaguchi picked 8 by San Jose, and Ottawa had the 9th overall pick in 2005. And they needed a defenseman. Everyone in the world, like they watched Mark Stahl play against Ottawa with the 67s with Sudbury, the Stahl family. Like they're going to draft Mark Stahl. Oh my God, they're going to get Mark Stahl. And Ottawa would like to take defenseman, Minnesota high school, Brian Lee. You're like, who? Julian to Brian Lee. I remember like I had done a ton of draft prep, and Brian Lee was like not on my radar. And then when Brian Lee came out, and I've never seen someone like 18 look 12, but he did. He was such a baby face, and like he looked like he was 12 years old. You're like, how could they have taken this guy? But yeah, that was the complete lottery where Pittsburgh got Sidney Crosby. Complete lottery. Like every team was in the lottery in the lockout. That's a wild scenario, right? And Gritter's going to throw all the teams in a hopper and see who comes out. Imagine Anaheim thinking that we might get Sidney Crosby, and then they got Bobby Ryan. Well, I don't think it's the end here for Ottawa. And I feel like it is not like I'm underwhelmed at the deal, but being underwhelmed at the deal, I will say that I do understand them taking a swing to not stay at 9. Like I actually agree with not picking at 9. For where they are and where their development curve is and where they expect to be in the next couple of years, I do not think it was a good idea to do this. So we'll see their scouts and their pro scouts, what they think of William Eklund. I don't want to compare him to Zetterlund, but I don't love what I've seen from another San Jose forward that had similar numbers. Eklund's a different player. You give him a shot, and you hope he works out. Can one of the other two guys eventually play on the Ottawa Senators? We'll see. So I do applaud them for going and making a deal to not sit on that 9th pick. Chris is in. Says, you guys got a really good player in Eklund. I'm a Sharks fan. And a really good prospect with Tuna. The Sens are my new favorite team in the East. Okay. Well, right. I think in the West, I mean, San Jose has been bad for a while, and now they have a player. Like we had this discussion. Was that with you, Tanner, before, where you're like 5 guys in the NHL that you would pay to see right now?
Yeah.
And I mean, some people get a little bit nostalgic. We're like, oh, they pay to see Sidney Crosby or whatever. But like Macklin Celebrini is on that list for me. Like I am going to make a point to be there even more than Connor Bedard to me.
100%. I think when you and I made our combined list, we came down to McDavid, McKinnon, Makar, Celebrini, and there was one more. There's another rookie, I think.
Oh, Schaefer.
Schaefer.
Yeah, Matthew Schaefer. Yeah, those are the 5 guys.
Yeah.
And look, Dreisaitl's probably close, and Connor Bedard's probably close, and Quinn Hughes is probably close. But for me, those are the 5 guys that I would go to the rink and pay money to watch play hockey right now. And San Jose's just been bad. When teams are bad for so long, you kind of get rid of some of the stink of whether you either like them or you hate them, because they become, and this isn't like I'm not taking a jab at San Jose. Ottawa's been in this spot before too, and other teams have. You become a little bit irrelevant. Like, how did anybody cheer against Buffalo this year? Unless you were playing them in the playoffs, you're probably cheering for them because they haven't been around in 15 years. They didn't win a playoff series in 20 years. How are you not cheering for them? Right? Like, and San Jose's that to me. They haven't been around in a while. I'd like them to be better. Celebrini's incredible to watch. So they are one of my favorite teams in the West. They're not Vegas. I mean, that's a plus for them right there. Just hate Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Julian's. See, I pay to see real legends like Nick Foligno flash off his dome from the lights makes it worth it. That's mean.
Wow.
So, interesting question. Kucherov make the list? No, for me.
He'd be another bubble guy for me, but yeah, he's
And
not quite in that.
Yeah, the
top tier.
reason it's no is because I know he's amazingly skilled, but he does set up at that in his spot and scores a million goals from that spot. And while it's impressive that he's still able to do that in the NHL, I don't want to go watch a guy put his stick up in the air like Danny Heatley used to do and like give me the puck and then shoot it. And the goalie still can't stop it, even though they know it's coming. And Danny Heatley gets 50. And that's how Kucherov gets all his goals. I just sounded like I'm running down Nikita Kucherov, which I didn't really want to sound like.
Yep.
But
let the record show Leander
Yeah.
Sage hates
No,
Nikita Kucherov.
I did not want to do that. I'm just saying his skill set to me doesn't make me want to go and pay to watch him. That's all. And if others feel differently, that's amazing. He's an amazing player in the NHL. So I'm probably about 65% on this deal as opposed to 35%. I feel very mid about it. It's another 3-letter word like unk that you know, feel very mid. I'm not overwhelmed with what they got back for the 9th overall pick, but I do applaud them for going out and doing something with the 9th overall pick that they feel like they can help their lineup. They know William Eklund more than I do. So if they can do that and William Eklund becomes a consistent top 6 player for this team, okay, awesome. Good for them. But I worry that he won't. But it also feels like they're not done. And when you look at the lineup later, if it is like if we look even in a week and Brady Tkachuk's not here, but William Eklund is here and Alexei Lafreniere is here and Connor Ingram is here on defense and they got a right D somehow, the whole makeup of the team, to me, make no mistake, they want to be, you emulate the people who win, and this team to be successful, would you agree, Tanner, as well? Like, have to kind of go off the Carolina Stanley Cup and go, we need to be like that team.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head when you look at roster construction and the way that they played down the stretch. Just kind of emulates that same style that Rod Brindamore just brought a Stanley Cup to Carolina with.
Right. And it took them forever, and they got criticized for doing the same thing over and over when they consistently lost in the Eastern Conference Finals. But they won a lot of hockey games and a lot of playoff games, and then they finally won the Stanley Cup. I think this roster is going to win if they can get to somewhere like that where it's the sum of all parts. With a couple of, obviously, like Tim Stutzle and Jake Sanders, like they're great players, but no, I think they need to. I think we need to be sitting here in another week if you're an Ottawa fan and go, okay, they got William Eklund, but they got Lafreniere, and then they got a right shot D, and then they got Connor Ingram, and they got these guys coming back, and what are they doing with Jordan Spence? And now you're seeing the full roster construction going, yes, this team is now better than they were with the sum of all of their parts. Quick talk. Do you have a name, MRA? I just want, MRA-W4Z is in with the chat again. I just want to call you something like, you just say anything. You don't even have to give us your real name. It's fine. You guys talk about the NHL saying that they're expanding again, Houston or Austin, apparently. We haven't talked about it yet. I can tell you where I'm in, and I would love for them to go as Austin. It's like, for those who have been, I haven't been, but I know a lot of people who have. And for me, it's like a top 5 city to go to in the US that I have not been to. Oh, see, and there's our buddy Chris. Team name for Austin, the Stunners. Oh, see, and they're mopey, whiny Ethan. Great, another tax-free American team.
How about the Austin Powers?
There you go.
Okay. Julian, the Austin Reeves. And see, good Canadian boy PJ says just for the Nordiques to come back. We should get the Nordiques to come back.
Yeah.
Close your ears, PJ. The best name in all of hockey. They no longer exist, but in the Central Hockey League, back in the day, there was a team in Macon, Georgia. Zach's already laughing. And the team name was the Macon Whoopee. I just want to know who put their hand up in the meeting and said, we should call them the Macon Whoopee. And then somebody's like, that's a great idea.
Guys, I've got a great idea. You want to make a name? You want to make a statement?
Exactly. Thank you, Matt. MRA is just my initials. We appreciate it. I just want to call you something. Matt's good. The Macon Whoopee. Imagine saying like came up short last night to Macon Whoopee. Okay, I'm popping myself now. I shouldn't. Don't look at his plus minus. The Sharks had no defense playing behind him. Okay, Chris. Yeah, I think a fresh start for everyone, right? Like minus 31 doesn't look great, but I know they gave up a ton of goals. Ottawa called the guy up. For those listening out of town, you won't know who Carter Yakimchuk is. A pick, Ottawa was very hopeful on a couple of years ago, 7th overall. Offensive defenseman, went down to the American Hockey League. Zach covers the American Hockey League in Belleville. And to say he was loose defensively is probably an understatement.
Yeah.
He also finished this year down in the American Hockey League, minus 30, and he was in the minus 40s at one point. But then they called him up to the NHL when they had absolutely nobody else to call up, and he didn't look bad. He looked decent to me. Tanner's out. Tanner's like, when do I get to eat? When do I get to go?
We're getting real down the stretch here of topics.
I know. The Austin oil pumps. Ethan, come on. You're better than that.
Is he?
Valid question.
Canada's officially eliminated, guys, in the World Cup.
Oh, no. I didn't pick Canada, so I'm okay.
No, Van Halen. All my teams are doing fine. Even my bottom barrel teams. Cape Verde and Ivory Coast. They're okay. All right. Yeah, Tanner, we're going to end things. 8:57 on the dot. You're welcome.
You're like a prophet or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Or just in control of when the show ends.
Yeah.
One of those two things.
Trying to prove a
I
point.
certainly the big red button at the bottom was staring at me a little bit.
Yeah.
I know. And okay, in all seriousness, we appreciate people being a part of it. We got a whole bunch of new listeners from all parts of the United States and Canada, and we appreciate that very much. We're going to be with you all week. We're going to have a draft preview coming up. We're going to be live on draft night all Friday night. We're going to have people coming in, coming out. The draft is on. We're going to be from the beginning of the draft to the end, and people can just pop in, pop out. We know it's not like everybody's thing for a 4 or 5 hour thing on Friday night, but we're going to be here for you. And if you have found us, please subscribe. Thank you for being here. It's been a lot of fun to connect with different people. A lot of fun to be able to be on. Tanner, I know it's a long time. Thank you for your time tonight. I know you just got home from work. Zach, you just got home from work and jumped on to another, 2.5, 3 hour show like we did on Sunday. Even though we did Red Blacks on Saturday and we got a bunch of stuff coming up. We'll do Red Blacks Sunday. This is wrestling if you do like wrestling, This Is Wrestling. You can find that. This is OSN.com. Again, this is OSN.com. You can find the wrestling page. You can find it on Instagram or anywhere. Like, Zach, tell people where they can find the wrestling, please.
Yes, you can go
Spotify,
find it
Apple.
on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your favorite podcasts. That will be there. You can follow us on the social media as well. X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, even on Threads. We're on Instagram Threads, Lee. So if you're a Threads user, go on over to Instagram Threads. So, but appreciate everybody that's tuned in, not only for this show, but for the last couple of shows as well.
Yep.
And like what Lee said, go ahead, subscribe, like the video, share it around, tell your buddies, tell your friends about this. It's something that we enjoy doing. It's we were joking, but it is cool that we have this sort of opportunity to just kind of talk about this and everything going on. And also, follow. I saw there was some Red Blacks talk earlier. I was surprised to see Red Blacks talk make it into the chat, but if you're a CFL fan, you'll want to stay tuned as well, because we'll have all that. So a lot coming up, Lee.
And I think the big thing for people listening in right now, or if you're listening to this at some other point, is like, we're literally at the beginning of what's, going to be bigger. We're going to get out on social media. We're going to get out on and do some different things here with This Is OSN, whether it's covering the NHL, whether it's covering the CFL, the NFL. We're going to be doing some different sports. We're going to be doing some big picture. We're going to be doing some junior hockey. And we're going to branch out, do a little bit of like music and life and different things too. So hopefully it's going to be a place that people can continue to come back. And if you're listening right now, you're literally at the foundation. You're in on something new that's going to get bigger, and we're going to remember that you were here. And we appreciate it very much. So with that, we will bid you adieu. It won't be a bang because Tanner's going to fall asleep. So, but no, like, this is not easy for people. We come in, we want to be here for people, and to get in after work and do this. I appreciate you guys, Tanner and Zach. Thank you very much. And for everyone listening, we're going to be back again during the week. Like I said, we'll definitely have something coming up with a draft preview before the draft. It will be live all Friday night for sure. We got some wrestling stuff coming up. The Red Blacks play on Sunday. We're going to have a draft Saturday morning kind of recap of round 1 and going into some of the rounds that are going on Saturday morning, 2, 3, and 4. So lots coming up here on This Is OSN. So for Tanner Ryle, Zach McGibbon, I'm Lee Versage. Thanks for listening to us here on OSN. This is OSN.com.